And good evening, welcome. Let's
Hello,
try.
hello, cunts.
Yeah, that's it. Bollocks, bollocks, poo, bags. There we are, demonetized already.
Yeah, warning, not advertiser friendly, not meant for minors or of the light-hearted.
Let's be honest. This is a bunch of hobbyists talking about hobby, and whatever language we use is the language you use.
Yeah,
It's,
my excuse will be I'm not a native English speaker, so if I misuse words, well, sue me. I don't give a fuck.
I don't have an excuse, but well, other than the fact I'm illiterate, grew up on a council estate, and frankly, don't give a damn.
Not given a rat's ass, as the children say.
Oh, we're so down with the kids today. I think there's about a generation gap of about 50 years in my case.
Mm.
I am. Do you know what? I don't know why I'm doing this. I am tidying my desk at the moment. Oh, I know why I'm doing it because I'm prepping.
Oh, and
I'm actually.
also to have more space for your Baron's War.
Oh, I need more Baron's Wool in my life. I've decided I'm definitely going to have an outlaw faction. Limburger, that you've got these figures. You've got the by now everyone's drunk, so we've obviously said it too many times. But I'm starting to paint up the outlaw, the Robin Hood's guys, and they are absolutely blooming lovely. Paul Hicks, or Paul, because he's a mate, it done some amazing sculpts. I can let you know, accidentally on purpose, what might be coming up soon, but it's Lord of the Rings.
Featuring Sean Bean, not dead yet.
Richard Sharp, the only character to outlive Sean Bean.
Well, there always may be some kind of continuation story where he actually dies again.
Actually, yeah, he died in Lord of the Rings, didn't he? Yeah. So even Boromir was not hard enough to survive Sean Bean.
Oh, and that's why the actor will live forever. Just
Right?
like Dorian Gray.
Oh, have you seen the meme? There's a brilliant meme actually about Sean Bean. He goes,
Yeah.
the reason why I die is
Why my movie characters all die? I'm a reverse.
it's a Dorian Gray kind of thing.
Yeah.
I just think, oh, that was so clever. Whoever thought of that? Yeah, and I thought, oh god, that's really good. So
Makes
actually
some
tonight
sense.
it does.
Oh,
Tonight, actually,
Martin
my
wants to
hot.
join in.
Oh, please,
Let him in.
right, Martin, give me 5 minutes while I actually remember which buttons to
Oh,
press.
I already pressed buttons.
Oh, you pressed it.
Do not
Cool.
worry.
That's all right.
I
Because like,
found that I can actually split screens with Discord, having the chatty channel on one side and the audio channel on another side, and then
oh wow,
keep
I'm
it.
gonna have to.
Yeah, because you can detach the audio channel as a separate window.
Oh wow, I never realised that.
And neither did I until last time.
It's a learning thing. Let's just say that it's definitely a learning thing.
Yeah.
Martin, you need to just to accept the
Yeah.
the invite, and then you'll be able to jump up and chat away.
Did you you weren't at the hobby hangout yesterday, were you?
I wasn't, unfortunately. I was over the weekend. Well, actually, on last Friday. I think is it Friday? Yeah, last Friday. So it has blurred a bit. I managed to reach the grand old age of 54.
Oh, so you are recovering still from.
No, we went out with some friends for a meal last night.
So happy belated birthday. No, I was just asking because yesterday on stream, Rumbly8 did announce something very terrible for me personally.
Oh, what?
He said Bot War is coming to a German distributor.
Fine, where you gone?
And the sodding sod is right.
Oh,
Today
no.
I've seen the thing being listed.
What we need is a UK distributor for us.
There is two actually.
Oh, is there?
Yeah, if you go to the website from what's that company's name again? I always forget. Let me look it up.
I invited
Traders
you again,
Galaxy?
Martin. Yeah.
They have a section with distributors, and I'm pretty sure there are two mentioned stockists.
Oh, that's
Australia,
good.
United Kingdom, Firestorm Games in Cardiff, and The Pit Gaming in Hertz.
I know Firestorm. Firestorm
And
good.
Level Up Gaming in Bournemouth. So there are 3 shops in the UK carrying Pod War.
Hello.
Hello,
there,
Martin.
Martin.
That was really weird. I was saying click accept or decline, and I was clicking accept like a crazy man, and it wasn't doing anything. But
Well, you
seems
were
it
on
now
the channel,
works.
but somehow your audio didn't get through. Discord is weird at times.
Yeah, that is weird.
Say it, leave politely.
Well,
anyways,
we all know tech is working weird at times, so who gives a fuck?
Indeed.
The moment tech behaves like you expect it to, that's the moment where you start getting nervous about things. That's usually the minute before everything goes complete
high-eyed.
bell end.
Yeah, that's it. That's one way of describing it. I'm talking of tech. Do you know what? Right, so tonight, hobby painting and chat. Mainly chat, very little painting. I'm not actually going to paint anything tonight.
You bastard! You made me set up my painting station, and now I have to paint.
Oh.
You don't. You.
It is actually a whole conspiracy to actually get you to just put paint on.
But by this point in time, I'm pretty convinced of that.
Jerry
set you up.
Yeah, he didn't, but yes. I can't believe how tall Jerry is in real life. You know what I mean,
He's a big guy. He's a big guy, for sure.
He is massive.
When you ask him how the weather is, he's saying, he would probably be replying like something, oh, the weather's fine, but it smells of dwarf.
But tonight I'm going to try and put a new banner up. Well, I'm going to do a banner for that thing that I'm trying to do a banner for my YouTube channel, which will probably be too elaborate and too nasty. And I'll post it when I've done a bit of it. I'll post it, and you can see what I mean. Certainly, got very political overtones on it, so I might actually take that off.
Pete, I think I already told you that, but I think this is a good one for the audience as well. On my private YouTube channel, where I only have some weird animal pictures going up, I had a comment from a different YouTuber, yes. And he was claiming to be an expert on YouTube, and he could make my channel grow. And then I looked at his channel, and he had something like 17 followers. So, yeah.
You obviously followed his own advice.
My friend wrote a book, How to Be a Millionaire. Now he needs 500,000 to get the book printed. Maybe he should read his own book.
Oh, there's been certain people in the world who I can think of that. Oh, yes.
I mean, I get that even people telling other people how to make money or be successful need to start at some point. But I always cringe when they go with superlatives in the description of their own channels and stuff they make when they've got nothing to show but a crappy banner and 1 or 2 videos.
That's right. I just
they're not even putting in any effort.
Crappy videos, no banner. That's it. That's the method I've gone for.
That sounds like my entire channel. Thanks, Sundance.
Indian tech scammers that call me and want to fix my Microsoft product for me do more work than that guy did.
Do you get them as well? I just thought it was a BT thing.
No, that's a global thing.
They're very good. They're really good. I've fallen for them every time.
Falling down your chair laughing, or
yeah, if they were just half as good as they're meant to be, then that would be it. Hi, Jim. Hi, Zorg. Hi, Demon. Hi, Luden.
Hello,
Limburg.
this is
Hi,
Abdul
Guppy.
from Microsoft Tech Support calling. We have found that you have problem with your Windows machine.
Hi, Jim. I can hear you. We can all. Hopefully, we can all hear you. I can hear you.
Yeah, hey Jim.
It's getting too much of an echo from your own voices.
Oh, he's very, very silent. But that may be just my setup.
You
Well,
guys getting any echo from your own voices?
nope.
No.
No, I'm not. No.
Because I'm not able to hook my earphones up for some stupid reason. Again, Discord audio issues because Discord.
Yeah. I wonder if it actually Discord is actually done by tech people or monkeys who just randomly put coded until they eventually got something to work.
No, I think the thing is, Discord just grew too fast for its own good.
Actually, I don't know what. I'm going to save what I've just done. And then I'm going to convert this from a PDF. No, not PDF file. Yeah, that's not good. I'm going to convert this from a Photoshop file into something that can actually be seen.
So you're going to make it a GIF.
Yeah, because you guys don't understand that the best format for anything on to do with images is TIFF. But
TIFF?
no one TIFF, yeah. A certain file format that was used. Actually, I'll tell you where it was extensively used in on Amigas and on Babylon 5. So those awful renders. And Jerry was wrong, by the way. Babylon 5 was not the first episode. All the episodes were done on an A4000 using a video toaster and an O4 chip with a whopping, now check this out, 128 meg of RAM.
Nice.
Yeah, back in the day when you actually get something done on decent machines.
Can you imagine that? Can you imagine having only that amount of RAM and trying to actually render stuff? And doing that, if you do it now, you'll be lucky if you could actually render a picture.
Even your cheapest smartphone has more RAM than that.
Well, I bought me a new present. Certainly my new iPhone certainly has more power. It's probably got more power than my computer. I haven't got a 13. I've only got a 12. I know. I bought into the Apple product world, and I've cared with the Apple product world because I'm frightened of losing anything of iTunes. Okay.
You're just old. That's all.
Steve Jobs, you've got a hold on me, and I know you've passed away as well.
Oh no, his head is somewhere in a jar.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
I hope so.
I've seen it on Futurama. It must be.
Yeah.
So
Can't have all that tech and all that money and not do something stupid like put your head in the jar. I would demand my head was in the jar.
put myself on ice and wait for the day when I get
Exactly.
defrosted and come back
Yeah.
into life. Just like in Judge Dredd, which they do with proper your sentences and death. Your sentences. Is it you're in a cryo tube? Suzanne, that's it. Suspended animation unit where they will defrost you so you can then serve out your sentence and your crime whenever they've managed to bring you back to life. There's nothing like a messed up world there. How come they never mention that in the movies? Well, that'd be far more interesting. That or the fact that what you're eating in that lovely burger might be anything, and you don't want to know what it is.
Oh, the burger thing is mentioned at when they're in the underground and they ask him, "Do you see any cows?" It's rat meat.
Oh, it's not. It's recycled, isn't it? All the stuff they have is recycled everything.
Well, in the Stallone Judge Dredd movie, it's definitely rat meat.
You've confused Judge Dredd and Demolition Man there, Sundancer.
Yeah.
Didn't he say Judge Dredd?
No, to be honest, they're very similar.
They are, yeah. I mean, there's not a lot of difference. Is there?
I could have sworn you just said Judge Dredd.
Well, isn't Judge Dredd a bit rather I mean, don't get me wrong. I love Demolition Man. I think Demolition Man is one of the most underrated movies of all time. I think Wesley Snipes is fantastic. He so suits the
Yeah.
the anti-hero in it. But is he really that much of an anti-hero?
No,
he's so
he's a child of his time, and the
Yeah.
times can't handle him.
But I think it's a really it's most definitely a warning what the world could end up being like as we carry down this route to PC. But
Yeah, we won't be able to curse in public, and we need shells to scrape our bottom.
no, just swear and get fined. You can use the receipts. There's an entire reel of
That's going to be a hell of an expensive bill for toilet paper.
it's only one credit. How much one credit is, I have no comprehension because I have no comprehension of their monetary system. But I think it is really one of those. It's just a brilliant film, but it clearly is Judge Dredd. But obviously they couldn't call it Dredd, could they?
See, you're now saying Judge Dredd again.
Yeah, Demolition Man. Oh, that's it. Oh, well, don't tell me the fight. Oh no, my laser plotter. Don't die, batteries. Oh, that's right. The batteries aren't dead. It's me. I've got one of these silly laser markers where occasionally I'll play with it. Well, I'm sure one day someone's going to go, "Oh, what's that red dot?" Don't worry about that. It's the bullet that's following afterwards. It's what you should worry about.
If the bullet hits the right spot, you don't need to worry.
As they say, you never hear the bullet. Yeah, like let's get off this subject. Really? Oh, that's bad news. So, what is everyone tonight doing with hobby? I will come back to you, Tuffy, in a second about the Silver Bayonet. I know, Martin, you've been on the Moonstone trip, haven't you?
Yeah, I have that. Well, I'm doing two things tonight. I'm sticking some iron horses together from the Wild West Exodus because a couple more things arrived. And then I'm doing the Moonstone. Yeah, so it was very cool when we saw it. I knew I'd end up picking it because of everyone talking about it. I was like, oh, for God's sake, I'm going to end up buying this game, aren't I?
Oh, yeah.
I did.
Somebody on this panel at the moment is doing their utmost to not get involved in it because it's not written in German yet. It is, by the way.
I'm not going to say that I already have printed the manual.
Well, it's a very good time to get into it because they've got 15% off, haven't they? So,
Have they?
which is more than what they had off at Salute. So at Salute, they had a 10% discount at Salute, and for Black Friday, they have a 15% discount.
Yeah, they need to.
Shouldn't have told me that.
They need to recoup some costs.
Yeah, there you go. So,
but actually, I mean, what do you think of the figures though? Because I've got to start. Oh, hang on.
Yeah, I think they're brilliant. I mean, they're very, man, the guy was very influenced by anything Jim Henson did.
Yeah.
If it's not Dark Crystal, it's Labyrinth, and if it's not those things, it's a bunch of others. So it's great.
I am waiting for the Never-Ending Story influence to come into it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, all of that. Yeah,
I think that's the Lavash, isn't it? Looking on it, but there we are. Found them. So
what the hell is that noise?
Yeah, we just got a weird noise coming, haven't we?
That might have been me.
That's all right, Jim.
I've never described you as a weird noise, Jim. That's not.
No. I was going to say. I thought, are you a Spectrum?
I'm a weird man who makes weird noises, but I'm not usually just a weird noise.
It sounded like you were tape loading.
It did remind me of the old days where. Do you remember Spectrum? Not just Commodore 6, all of those old ones where it's just like you had the that awful loading sound, which we all knew meant that the game was going to work.
Yeah, that's only a good sound.
Or didn't work, depending on 5 minutes of waiting for it to load.
You talking about on the old A drives?
Yeah.
I was on about the old tapes, these things, but yeah.
Oh,
so
okay.
I didn't know this, but in the US, you can probably confirm this or not, Jim. I got told that in the US, things on tape like video games and stuff was quite rare. Where in the UK
Really?
it was very commonplace for it to be a tape.
No, the video game industry here, industry started with, obviously consoles, ColecoVision,
Yeah.
nonsense, Atari 2600. As far as PCs go, it started on B drives, the old literal floppies.
Yeah,
With the
yeah,
hole in the middle, the 5.5 inches or whatever,
Ooh.
and even they were mostly text adventures.
Yeah.
So I don't even know if I would call them a video game. They're definitely a computer game. And then, I remember Starfleet Battles, or whatever the hell it was, Starfleet Command, King's Quest, all that nonsense. And you would get the box, and the box had 4 friggin' those little actual 8-drive hard disks or whatever.
Yeah.
One was just to boot the game up, and then after load disk 2, you've reached a certain point, load disk 3. So, yeah, that's at least what I remember.
Yeah. So you guys
funny
never
thing
really
is-
had the tape system that we used to get, which is
I remember the tape, talking about the old reel-to-reel things. Or...
No, so this was almost like cassette tapes, audio cassette tapes that had gaming content on it. So either video games or applications, and you ran them on an audio tape, sort of thing you could put in your car back in the day.
Martin, you may have heard of the channel Retro Man Cave.
Yes, yeah,
They have a podcast, all things old tech, and they had a survey done on what was your favorite computer, and it boiled down to the US had their Apple IIs mainly with floppy, and the United Kingdom has had mostly systems with ordinary audio cassette tapes as source for data.
yeah. I didn't realize that they just weren't a thing in the US really.
And the funny
I
thing
don't
is,
remember it.
in Germany, we had both. You had the, for example, the Commodore C4, 16, and 64, which would utilize a data set, which was basically an audio cassette, or later then a floppy drive with a 5 1/4 inch double density.
Closest thing we ever had to a tape game that I can remember were those god awful. This was a very, very brief fad, thank God. Those VCR games. Did you guys ever see those?
Yeah, but
Adventure. But to see
Atmosphere.
what happens, fast forward to 3615 or something. You're like,
Yeah,
fast
that's
forward,
it. Yeah.
Oh God, those were awful.
That is Atmosphere, isn't it?
Oh no, I died again. Rewind the tape.
Yeah, Atmosphere was probably the most famous sort of family video game. And you'd literally play it, and it was 60 minutes long. And every now and then you'd play the board game, and then the character would interact with you on the TV and call you a maggot or whatever, and get you to do little challenges. We've actually got it. We played it last Christmas. So
they also made a Star Trek version with a Klingon announcer and
Oh,
a Star Wars version with Lord Vader.
Ah, cool.
I've got the Lord Vader version. It's hilarious.
They've just done the 30th edition. 30th.
Yeah.
30 edition. Oh my God, I feel old. I mean, right.
You are old.
50. I am old. I'm 56.
I think we are old now. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I remember when I was a kid at 56, like a million years old.
Be quiet, man. You're old. You're like a full decade almost younger than me. I think you're like, what, 9 years younger than me? I was born in October of 71.
Oh my God, you're all kids.
That's what I'm saying.
I am old. All right, hurrah!
I was October 79. That's when I was born.
Yeah, I can remember England winning the World Cup. Did you say October 79?
Yeah.
I was at secondary school. Oh, fucking hell.
I was
October 79. My youngest brother was already over a year old. I was just turning 8. So yeah, 8 years.
79. I was just getting into kindergarten.
So at 79, I got to see Joy Division. I got to see the Buzzcocks. I got to see. By the way, I was only like 13, 14. So
I think you may need to explain to the audience what those things are.
surely everyone knows who Joy Division is. Joy Division is a great band from Manchester. Ian Curtis is the lead singer. They're now called actually New Order. Ian Curtis unfortunately committed suicide. Did a song called Love Will Tear Us Apart. Did quite a few really good songs. I think Joy Division are probably the most influential British band. certainly that are really influential on British popular music now. Well, indie popular music. I think they, in their words, actually, we're just a very bad Doors ripoff. They're not.
What
They're
isn't?
wow.
What isn't? Because the Doors are friggin' awesome.
Oh, they most definitely are. Shall we talk about Jim Middleton
And,
all night? I'm happy with that.
don't get us started on the Doors. You'll never shut me up.
No,
Um,
I love.
Limburger says he only knows the Joy Division because of Vampire the Masquerade. I remember that.
Yes.
Vampire the Masquerade used to have those little quotes, like on top of each chapter heading or whatever, those little literary quotes, and like every other one was either Shakespeare or Joy Division or Sisters of Mercy.
Oh.
I was like, I'm so sick of Sisters of Mercy, man. I had a friend who was really into Sisters of Mercy, and I was like, no, man, it says right here in the book it's practically required listening while playing Vampire the Masquerade. I will
No, it's not.
Oh
No,
my
it's
god.
not. No, it's not. No,
No,
most
help us.
definitely
Help us.
not. Please
Can
no.
we please play Werewolf instead? Because I'm really sick of Vampire at this point.
I love Vampire the Masquerade. I think I think the world setting for Vampire the Masquerade of its time, very much of its time, and it did bring out probably some of the how can we say, probably the most debaser ideas of people, but
Vampire the Masquerade was great when it came out. I actually lived right around there. I actually met Mark Reinhagen at one of his conventions. I was like 2 hours away from Stone Mountain, Georgia, where they first got started. I was stationed in Paris Island at the time. So, like 1990, 1991, I was just lucky to be like right around the corner, America speaking, from where they were. And it was really great. And then I don't want to crap on anybody's hobby, but once it started getting into LARP, I think a lot of people weren't really used to what LARP was in those days, and it was being done in some strange ways, and I think it kind of went overboard a little bit.
I mean,
people used LARP as an excuse to live out their darkest fantasy. They were too afraid to admit they actually enjoyed doing. At least
excuse me.
It was. At least in those early days, they wouldn't go to like a designated place and say, we're going to LARP here. At least when I was exposed to it, again, this is kind of when I quit Vampire, is there were certain bars in Savannah, Georgia that would just host these events. And 99% of the people were just going to that bar or nightclub or whatever. This is me at 22 when I still went to friggin' nightclubs. And I would walk in there, and there's like this guy laying on the ground like he's dead. I'm like, does someone needs to call the 911 or call the cops? He had too much to drink. Oh no, he just got killed. He's a LARP guy. And like, there's cops walking around. The cops don't know what's going on. It's like, somebody please tell the cop that people aren't really fighting in here, and that wooden stake, he's not really going to stab somebody with it, and that guy laying down in the corner isn't actually dead. And again, I think once it kind of got started, like some parameters were set, and it kind of found its footing. But in those early days, it was weird. It came across as weird. We weren't used to it, and I don't think the LARP community was. Again, didn't really have those parameters like kind of set up. But I think once it found its footing, I think it kind of recovered. I mean, people do it now, and it's great. But in those early days, man, it was kind of weird.
I'm totally with you. I mean, I used to play it in those early days as well. We actually had quite a big scene in the UK, but we had, I think at one stage there was 32 different chapters, or I think they were called, or something like that. And
94, 95, 96, it was huge over here. They had like a whole library of books just for, I think they call it Mind's Eye Theater, like their LARP version of the rules. Certainly.
And actually, all the comic books were designed for actually both for the role play game and the LARP. What was good about their LARP, because there's two types of them. There's hitting people with foam swords. I'm sorry for anybody who actually hits people with foam swords. And then there's like the non-physical side, which is what Vampire ended up being, which is the only physical game I've ever played, by the way. And I mean, God, let's just say, you did work out some of your more debaser
Nothing
Thinking
was
live there.
funnier. I mean, I was trying not to laugh at people. And again, nothing was funnier than watching two high-powered characters like I am Aurelius or something. I am fifth
Dude.
generation Methuselah. I was born in 15 BC. I've this, that, and the other thing. And then here comes this other guy. I am Bruhai Antitribu of the Sabbat. I am God. You know,
And then they
super
do
powerful
what-
characters. Rock, paper, scissors. Yeah, you get
Yeah,
you beat me
that's
to
it.
it. Yeah. And I'm like, you guys have any idea how much you just deflated your little entrance, man, with your
Like,
1, 2, 3.
1,
Oh,
2,
rock
3, go.
again? You always pick rock. Then you should always beat me. Damn you and your rock.
Oh, there's always
Oh,
bomb.
man.
You had once a game you were allowed to bomb, which was really well. You had a number of bombs depending on your generation. And Diablo was
I was
way
like,
out.
can you just carry a couple D10s in your pocket and roll them on the bar? You'll look a little less absurd
Yeah,
than
actually.
just playing rock, paper, scissors.
Or could they actually do what they're supposed to do, like you would do in the role play game? Is actually you would actually role play it. You wouldn't.
Oh, yeah, well.
And you do that, and it's actually that's the influence of the game, and that's what it should be. Oh no,
That's how it was at the beginning. I said Vampire was great when it came out, and then two things happened. LARP happened, and then Blade happened.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
And Vampire became a combat game, and I was like, oh, that's it, I'm out. If I wanted to play combat, you do Werewolf the Apocalypse. If you wanted to do intrigue and manipulation and politics, Vampire the Masquerade. If you want to do existential, my favorite role-playing game ever to this day remains Mage the Ascension.
Mage is cool.
The world's Mage the Ascension, not Mage the Awakening. Mage the Ascension, the original Mage.
Yeah.
Best Magic role-playing game. Didn't have a fucking spellbook. It was awesome.
You made it up.
It challenged you to make up your own spells, yeah. Or
Yeah.
your own rotes, I think they called it, but yeah.
Yeah, as long as you didn't do, you could explain it away. That's all you had to do. If you can explain something away, then it's not broken any illusions. The magic.
Yeah,
works.
it was the difference
Otherwise,
between vulgar and paradox magic in those
Yeah.
days.
yeah,
Yep.
and it was great. And I actually live role played that as well. And that's even weren't my thing. I prefer Vampire. I like the political machinations. I think that's probably what it ends up being. But I really I enjoyed Mage. I enjoyed playing Mage actually as an RPG. I enjoyed what actually the whole systems all ended up being. The fact that actually they are all one. It's just different aspects of the game, and you are meant to play them as such. And it's always great when you then turn around and go, "Oh, by the way, see that group of people that have been tracking you forever? Yeah, your stuff doesn't work, and they know exactly what you are. What are you going to do now?" I love
the technocracy. I never thought the technocracy were really the villains.
No,
At least
they're
low-level
not.
technocracy.
I always saw them more like Majestic 12 in X-Files and that sort of thing. They're there.
I was just going to say, yeah, that they're basically the X-Files.
Yeah.
And what, especially when you got deeper into the books, Mage the Ascension, again, they kind of ruined it with Mage the Awakening, but with Mage the Ascension, there are 9 spheres of magic, and then there's technology. Well, back in the day, technology was just the 10th sphere.
Yeah.
It's just the one. It's just the sphere that won. It's always been like this ages-old battle of which brand of magic is going to, emerge as dominant with the collective human consciousness, and technology just happened to win, mostly with the Renaissance. So I understand why they kind of wanted to change it. I mean, Mage the Ascension, that you're supposedly fighting the Ascension War, bro. You lost that war in 1600s, man. That's water under the bridge. Technology is kind of a thing now. You're not going to bring it back with, Wolfsbane and, your little Wiccan bullshit or whatever. But I always found in Mage the Ascension, what killed a lot of groups, and most Mage, as much as I love the system, most Mage groups that I was ever with did fail. And it usually failed over an argument over vulgar versus paradox, or I should say vulgar versus coincidental magic. So the one successful Mage game I was able to run was called World in Flames. It took place in World War II. You were part of this, this special, there's MI5, there's MI6, then there was MI12 or whatever, that nobody talked about.
Yep.
Like this last room at the end of the hallway. It was basically supernaturals. It was mostly mages. And we made up a chart, which I know you're not supposed to do in Mage. It's supposed to be all role playing. But we made up a chart, printed it out, and copied it to everybody. I was like, okay, look, guys, this is how vulgar magic is going to work. This is how coincidental magic is going to work. Everybody knows. Everyone has the chart. We're going to go by this chart. I can't remember exactly how it worked. It was number of dice versus something or other. It kind of went with the spirit of the game, but it wasn't 100%. And also, a lot of it was going to be in the battlefield, so a lightning strike wouldn't look as strange, in the middle of a tank battle as it would in the middle of a street. Still a little strange, but fireballs, you could get away with fireballs more often. But yeah, it's like, look, this is going to be the thing. This is how you do it. This is the risk. This is the dice I'm going to roll. Because often it's just up to the storyteller. Is that coincidental? Well, the storyteller has several options. You can summon a paradox spirit. You can have a paradox backlash. You can suck the party into a paradox realm. And they're like in these different orders of magnitude. But as far as like what the system was, there wasn't one. It was all up to the storyteller. If Mage the Ascension had one flaw, it put too much responsibility on the storyteller, and if the players got argumentative, the group would often fall apart. So here, everyone had a chart. They could refer to the chart and say, before I do this, there's going to be an 82% chance, and I know this doesn't sound like Mage the Ascension, there's going to be an 80% chance that X happens and a 10% chance that Y happens, and if I get really unlucky, a 10% chance that Z is going to happen. Okay, I'm going for it. And then I'm going to roll the dice on the table, and if Z happens, which did happen once, the whole party had to spend a whole episode getting back out of a paradox realm. Go for it, dude. I mean, you all knew the risks. It was literally printed in black and white in front of you. But other than that, Mage would sometimes... That's the only thing I didn't like about Mage is I think sometimes to put a little too much responsibility into the hands of the storyteller, especially if the group was not like 100% willing to go with anything the storyteller says. Which, when was the last time you had a group like that?
Oh.
All right.
I'm just gonna laugh at that because that. Actually, no. To be honest, though,
I mean,
the whole point
you might have tough ears in your group, and everyone knows the tough ears is just gonna argue. No, I'm just playing with you.
He argues all the time. Believe me, it's the worst. The worst. Actually, she's not.
And she curses like a sailor.
Oh, I'll tell you what, she put me to shame. No, actually, she's really good. Really good. She's very good as a DM as well. No, she's good, and that's enough for me to talking about how good she is there. But no, I tell you what, she likes her game systems. I tell you that.
she knows her game system. That's for sure.
She knows them back to the bloody front. I don't bother reading game systems. I sort of go, oh, there's the background, and I'll just fudge it as I go along, or default to something that I played.
Before she mentions it, because she certainly will. Yeah, she's kicked my ass twice in Darkstar, a game I designed. So before she mentions it, because I see her little kitten icon, she's already raising her hand. She's gonna mention it. So let me go ahead and control how the news gets out. Although Rasmus totally won that game, you just mopped up the mess. But anyway,
a win is a win.
There you go. Tough Ears says she's learning Twilight 2000 at the moment. Tough Ears, I saw you had hex maps in your project. Be careful, Tough Ears. That's a slippery slope.
Yeah,
you're gonna become one of us before you know it.
You'll be
like, man, that Ariskini guy isn't always crazy after all. I'm playing these games on hex grids and it's awesome. Yeah, how about that shit?
Retro.
No more arguments. No more crying about range. No more crying about arcs of fire. Everything's already gonna, you know what's happening and you can make your own decisions.
Does make it easier, actually. I know people. I grew up on actually hex games because I was.
So you had a very hard childhood.
In fact, Martin actually.
Yeah, see there.
I met Martin actually introduced himself to me at Salute by going, Pete. Why are you dressed as a pirate? But actually, one of the guys at the table, and I should have really introduced you. There's a fellow on the opposite who's playing the game at the time. His name's Nick. He's the guy that got me into actually wargaming because, my dad sort of played. We had Airfix figures. I mean, I'm sure we all had plastic soldiers at some point. And my dad sort of, we played it in using my dad's set of, well, we're going to measure ranges now by hand. Clever idea, actually. So short range is your hands, is how long your hand is. Medium range, 2 your hands. Long range, 3 your hands. Oh, how good. Of course, my dad's hands are bigger than mine because I was a kid. And
Well, you should have known.
I didn't quite work out the fact that he worked out quite a complex set of games by actually rules by just using your hands as a measuring tool. And maybe I should actually I'll stop there before as a measuring tool. And actually, do you know what? It is something that actually that way everyone can play. And I played it and I really enjoyed it. But Nick actually, he got me. I remember at school we used to. Do you remember you'd come in with a project? You know what you love doing. I came in and said, "Oh, I love drawing." Everyone goes, "We know you love drawing, Peter." It's all around the school. But Nick came in and he actually had a war game. He had a Second World War II war game. And I just thought, oh, that was amazing. So I went round his house to play it. Then played Austerlitz by Avalon Hill as it's a hex grid game, which is one of those games I found out that takes more than a couple of hours to play.
I was going to say, you jumped in on the deep end, didn't you?
Oh yeah, takes more than a couple of hours to do.
Austerlitz is not. Yeah.
Oh.
Takes a couple hours to set up. And then
Yeah.
one play. Should.
And it takes a couple of hours to do one move.
Some of those old Avalon Hill divisional level games. Yeah, hell yeah.
They're brilliant. They are good. But
Austerlitz, Leipzig, Waterloo. Obviously, there's a couple versions of Gettysburg. There's an easy version for Gettysburg that's you can play in like an hour. Then there's the one that's like, hey, well, don't make any fucking plans because you're going to be at this for like a week.
Yeah, I think that's the one I played. But it actually got me into all that, and then got me into going to a war games club, where I then actually got me to go into a role play club. And I think I think most of us are actually my war gaming experience started with role play and playing board games, and then joining a club, and then finding out that there's a club that play toy soldiers. So I went and joined that, and then the world of, and I played American Civil War as my first game. Oh God, that was complex for like a 14-year-old kid. That was very complex. And then the week after that, I played Challenger 2000, where I took the Russians taking on British against British service personnel, against company commanders, captains and like. And I realised at the end of it said, we wanted you because you have no idea or preconceptions of Russian tactics, that we just want you to actually play like a Russian, which basically meant, I look at all my stuff and then turn around and go, there's paratroopers. Can I drop them behind you? And they went, oh yeah, we didn't think of that. Long Russian parachute company drops right behind British infantry company. Now they've got a mechanized company coming at them and some paratroopers behind them. And I was like, what? Why did we take air cover?
This is what we call hammer and anvil.
This is called, I just saw what I had and I went, I'm going to just hit everything at once. But it was interesting because, for them, I suppose they were trying out tactics and stuff. For me, it's just like, oh, wow, this is fantastic. I've got lots of tanks and lots of armored personnel carriers and, paratroopers. Oh, wow, I can drop them there. You
Push all the buttons.
And then I met some lads of my age who were down there, and then we ended up playing fantasy for the rest of the game.
Thanks for having me, guys.
I'm not going to acknowledge your 3D printing activities of today.
Oh, that's my hobby project, man. I've been busy as a little beaver.
I'm more worried about the speculum that you put up on the picture. So I'm like, I don't want to see that ever again. Thank you. And
I think Sundancer, Tim.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is the one. I think this is the golden button winner here for me.
If that thing doesn't get you a gold button, I think it at least will give you a very heartfelt laughter from Warren.
I mean,
If he survives it.
it's everything. It's got creativity. It brings holiday joy. It's an everything project.
The only thing you now need to do is you make a battle report with it.
Oh, that would be an awesome battle report.
While we were talking about getting behind enemy lines.
Yeah, no, please no. I was on about Russian paratroopers. I'm not on about that.
I was going to say those are established tactics. The U.S. Army used to call it spear and net because the Viet Cong would always run away. The NVA would always run away. Well, you helo cast some troops or you helo helicopter some troops in behind the guys from the front or from the behind, and then you send in the mechanized infantry and the tanks from the front. And then when the Viet Cong goes to run away, oh look, there's nowhere to go. That was the theory, at least.
By the way, I got my arse royally handed to me in that conflict. Because
the danger with these kind of tactics is at the beginning phases of your operation or whatever little battle plan you're trying to carry out on the battlefield is your forces are divided, and if you don't do that with like crackerjack timing, the enemy's going to focus his whole force against half of your force and then defeat you in detail. So
yeah,
it sounds good on paper, but it's hard to pull off.
You see, if I was at 14 and I was a tactical genius, I might have been okay. But let's be honest, I'm going to be quite frank at that. My tactical nonce at that age, and actually still now, is the enemy, engage enemy, and let's see if I can roll more dice than they can. And if they can walk away from the end of the engagement, then I've won. But I tried. That's the good thing. I did try. I've tried. Does anyone else? And I'm sure you do, Jim. But when wargaming, or am I the only one really does this? I actually tried proper tactics like refuse flags and stuff like that, and it never ever worked for me.
Let me put it this way: when I played 40k, I played orcs for a reason.
You're on the same thing. I played Marines for a reason as well. But
who needs tactic if you've got the advantage of higher numbers and just bore your opponent to death while moving around 60 grots?
But and then I've tried it, especially with Kings of War, because Kings of War, I like it. It's quite a tactical game. Plus, which I get to use my War of the Roses figures. And he is quite tactical, so you can actually think. And I played against this fella called Dan Porter. He's at our club. He's actually, I didn't realise actually how he works at the local university. Actually, he's a lecturer at the local university. He doesn't work for the local universities. Get it right. But he actually he studied classics. So he's and he learned ancient Greek just for the hell of it. It gives you an idea of what sort of
those people scare me.
Yeah, they do me actually. But I play against him occasionally. He's actually, believe it or not, a 30k player. He loves the Horus Heresy, and he's really he's actually quite big in the Horus Heresy scene actually. But his tactics, and he just like every time I play him, he's just like he sits up there and he makes me do what he wants to do, and I hate him for it. Why am I sending? I know I shouldn't be doing this, and you're making me do that action. I want to know how he does it. It's subliminal, I guess. No, it's good tactics. It's good tactics.
Well, that's actually kind of strange to hear because Kings of War, at least the version I saw, which I understand they've updated it since, historical tactics, medieval or ancient tactics will not work in Kings of War because the movement system is, I don't know who designed the movement system the combat system, the casualty system, that's all great. The movement system in the version of Kings of War with which I am familiar, which may be out of date, I hear they've updated it. So if I'm talking out my ass, I apologize. The movement system in Kings of War, I don't know who designed it or what branch of the military they served in or where they learned close order drill. That is not how armies move around in those days. That's not how armies move around nowadays. It is way too lenient and you're able to do things that there's just no way an army can actually. That's not how close order drill works. That's not how battlefield, linear combat works at all. And this allows your opponent to do things that render real life tactics useless. So I don't know. I mean, I've seen people who are just really good at games. Like, you don't have to be a military tactician to know anything about chess. Chess isn't a war game. And at the same time, you got people that can just. I knew a guy when I was little. He could just kick the crap out of my dad, who of course could kick the hell out of me in chess. And then like 3 turns away from checkmate, when my dad's like throwing in the towel, he's like, okay, I see where I lose in 3 turns no matter what I do. I give up. I throw in the towel. He's like, are you sure? He's like, yeah. He's like, okay. He turns the board around. And he says, you go. So not only has he flipped the table, white for black, but he just gave away a turn, and he still kicks his ass again with the other guy. What the other guy had left. He was kind of an idiot. But just for some reason, at chess, he was just awesome. And this guy you're describing sounds like he was extremely, intelligent anyway. It just surprises me to hear. I mean, maybe I don't know the guy. I haven't seen the games, but I'd be interested to see, especially when they came out with Kings of War Historical. And I was fine with Kings of War because it was a fantasy game. It's cool. But when they came out with Kings of War Historical, I'm like, okay, all that stuff that you were getting a pass on before, with the way you can pivot, block formation, and plays? What is this? The Marine Corps Silent Drill Team? Who the hell are these guys? No, man. And again, I heard that they've updated since then, so I could be just tragically out of date here.
They have. I do know what you mean about the movement system. They have actually redone the movement system, so it fits better. It's now because it's a footprint game. That's the word I think the word to use it. Because it's a footprint game, actually terrain really does have an influence and an effect on it, and it will stop a lot of these massive sweeping. I'll move 90 degrees through trees, through everything else to actually hit you all in the flank sort of maneuvers. There's also a point where now they actually, and this actually harkens back to I think the old days of wargaming, where you got a pivot point, a charge arc, and that charge arc change. You can move that charge. The bigger the unit is, the bigger obviously your charge arc will be. But you got to actually be able to have somebody in the front charge arc for you to charge them. But they've stopped the more ludicrous 90-degree turns and only giving it to certain units. Like in my army, actually, I play Kings of Men, and I have light cavalry. Now, light cavalry, I've got a thing called nimble, which means I can move around the table quite freely. And it's actually light cavalry does. My heavy cavalry can only do one thing. They can punch forward, and if they get you on the side, then God help you. That's all I'm going to say with that, because they will actually chew you up.
Is your light cavalry like some kind of skirmish formation, or
sort of? Yeah, I've got two. They're basically I've got 2 types of light cavalry. I've got light cavalry that I've got missiles and their job is to actually sort of harry on the flanks and stuff. I've got proper light cavalry, which is like armed with lances and stuff, but they don't have heavy armor or anything, because they're not got heavy armor on them. They gain the nimble ability, and what it means.
So when you say like when you say like turning 90 degrees, do you mean like wheel? Like, okay, this guy is. Okay, wheeling I have no problem with. From what I saw, Kings of War would allow you to pivot, which is different. Pivot is you basically pick the middle of the unit, and the whole thing like turns on this invisible axle. Oh my god, dude! What? And then whenever you lock up with the other guy, you can just you bounce back 1 inch. I'm like, how many commanders in history wish they could do that? I just collided with an enemy. I'd say Persians up against Alexander's, or technically Parmenians phalanx on the left wing of Gaugamela. How badly do they wish they could just back up 1 inch and I'm no longer engaged?
No, there's none of that.
That's not how melee combat works, man.
No,
okay,
and it's not. Yeah, that's not there now either, because once you're engaged in combat, you're engaged in combat. You can disengage from combat, but if you disengage in combat, guess what? The opponent's going to actually give you a free smack around the face.
See, somebody read the battle system rules and said, "Oh, we should copy these a little bit." That's where I learned linear combat was in Battle System Second Edition, 1989, which is a great little game. And then I see Kings of War, and I was like, "What?" But again, this is the old super old version. So it's good to hear that they've updated that.
Well, they have, and it's good they have updated it. I've played all 3 different versions of it now, and I do like the new one.
There's 3 versions.
Yeah, we're on 3rd edition now.
Man, I only knew about the
2. And actually, I tell you what I loved about Kings of War, and this is the one thing. I learnt it on a Thursday, so I played 1 game on a Thursday. On Saturday, I was teaching people how to play it at Salute. Not the last Salute. This is ages ago. I picked up the rules and understood the rules and the mechanics literally in about 5 minutes. And you know what? That's great for a game. There are nuances to the game that actually then makes it easy to makes the game more complex. But it was just all right. I
Easy
like
to
it.
learn, hard to master.
Yes, it. Rather like actually, Blood and Plunder is the same. Easy to learn, hard to master. In my case, easy to learn, play French, get beaten by the English. But
that's what French do, right? Is just get beat by the English.
Not in the Caribbean, apparently. Well, my French do.
But to Sundancers,
how many French Caribbean? Sorry.
To Sundancer's point, yeah, easy to learn, hard to master. Because there's a lot of these games out here, and this is what kind of gets me about today's overall game market. That are like, oh, this game plays in less than 60 minutes. You'll learn it in 5 minutes. You'll be playing in 10, and you can wrap up an entire game. It's a great beer and pretzel night, easy access, gateway game, all that nonsense, and that's fantastic. Except, you've basically done everything there is to do in the game, and you're bored with it after like 2 weeks. Yeah. Sometimes those really, really easily accessible Kickstarter, some guy designed it over a weekend on a standing room table. Congratulations. He rolls it out and it hits the market. And it's really popular for a couple of weeks, and then it's gone because people just get bored with it. Easy access games sometimes don't have a lot of depth. So when you have one that somehow manages both, and of course the converse is true. You get a game like friggin', Rise and Decline of the Third Reich. It takes 6 hours to set up and 2 months to play. You'll never get bored of that game, except, good God, man, the gateway to get in that game, the bar you have to jump over to get into that.
If it takes 6 hours to set up, I'm already bored.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm already bored. Let's put it away.
That game's not for you then, chump. Or not chump, I'm sorry. That game's just not for you then, dude. It's a game that you are literally refighting World War II on the core level.
It sounds like Avalon Hill. The Avalon Hill.
It is Avalon Hill.
Okay, yeah.
The greatest game company that's ever existed. So yeah, it absolutely is Avalon Hill. But at the same time, it's the game I learned how to war game on, which was talk about jumping in the deep end. I don't play it anymore because the benchmark is too high, or whatever the word is. The gateway is too high. It's too hard to get.
You'd have to play by yourself. No one has that time.
Exactly. So it basically has been sitting on my shelf collecting dust. So you're definitely, I guess what I'm trying to say is there's definitely those two extremes. And, once in a while that rare game comes along, easy to get into. And, I want to say depth.
Memoir 44 is a game I just played like 2-3 weeks ago. I liked it so much I bought a copy, and I was telling my brother, easy to get into, but the nuances of the cards and running out of troops in certain areas, it's pretty fun.
And the expansions too. Yeah, Memoir 44 is one of those games I used to walk past at Target and like laugh at. I'd be like, who plays this? 5-year-olds. It's right next to Battleship and Parcheesi.
Yeah.
And I never gave it a second look, and then someone actually had it. And I tried it, and I'm like, oh my God, this isn't Panzer or anything, but it's not bad. Even after you completely master and you've got the game clocked, well, guess what? There's another army. Guess what? There's another expansion. Guess what? The board is modular. You can change the terrain on the table, with their little inserts they give you and whatever. So yeah, Memoir 44, definitely agree.
Yeah, it's one of the ones that I think it's easy to learn, easy to pick up, very quick. I do like the fact that they have some scenarios that are lopsided, totally lopsided, where the Germans are just caught with their pants down, and the Americans steamroll them. But you could still win if you plan it out correctly.
Bloody hell.
That good
Sorry.
old asymmetrical warfare. If I had a quarter for every time I had to correct somebody on what asymmetrical warfare actually means, I'd own GW by now.
Yeah, isn't it just?
But yeah, games that can
Yeah,
games that can do it.
Zorg, is that?
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh my god, that's right. I just got into the chill out barrel. One, I'm a little bit surprised because I just uploaded a 24 meg file. I didn't think I could. Syndicate Wars. Oh my god. Oh, that's right. Sorry,
I think it has to do with like what. I think it has to do with what level the Discord server is on. Is how big the file you can upload to it. Like a beginning server, like our little sitrep server, you can only do 8 megs. But once the server hits a certain level, it has so many boosters, so many what's the word? Boosters. Whatever, you can actually load a bigger file. So maybe.
I was just
not surprising. Cox is a much bigger community.
Yeah, I thought. I don't know why. I thought he actually had a limit on the actual size of the pictures. Oh, now I'm looking at that. I don't know.
Oh, you do have a limit. It's just certain servers have different limits depending on what level there are. Speaking of boring people to tears, we seem to have chased Martin out of the chat.
Thingamajig there, Panzer?
Yeah, it's the I'm not sure if that's the one I'm trying to do for my face for my either the project channel or my Facebook channel. But I'm thinking that background's way too busy.
Yeah, it looks a bit like a tapestry.
Well, it is meant to look like a tapestry, but I just realised that background's going to be absolutely impossible to read.
It's very, very colorful.
It has all the colours.
Well, I'll tell you what, the thing on the sides definitely has all the colours. The colory thing. Oh, thank you for putting that up there. Why is that there? That's so scary. You scare me.
That is gloriousness brought to life.
That is something brought to life.
You're talking about Chill Out Bar?
I'm still wondering.
Yes.
Why does it need to be a tacker holder, cut it holder, a sausage?
Because I went with what the statement said. You can't change art. I could just replicate it. However,
of course you can change it.
I did change Jesus. I did change Jesus Christ because I went from Christ the Redeemer to Christ the Fister because I thought that was more appropriate.
Oh, I thought you'd make something with Buddha.
Oh. No, you can't do that to Buddha. That'd be not fair for Buddha.
Just you watch it. You can.
All I say is don't put Muhammad on there, for God's sake, no.
Just leave it blank.
Before we go, let's get off that subject of actually defacing every religious icon.
A religious icon.
Please.
Benny Hinn, Jim Baker. Just start going down.
Brian from The Life of Brian.
You're right. I live in America. We have tons of religious icons here.
We've got them. I found out today on Sky because I was bored and I was looking through all the channels. I didn't realise we had an entire section on religious channels, and we've got our fair share of colourful people.
Y'all have nutters, but we have glorious nutters here. I mean, just in plethora. And Jim lives in Florida, where you get all the nutters.
At least I got the weather, though.
Well, there's a lot more. Oh man, am I still okay? You guys can still hear me, right?
Yes, we can.
Yes, we can.
Sorry. Yeah, there's a lot more money in it over here, so I think it gets.
Oh yeah. Well, I'm in Texas. I mean, we have guy that.
Oh, you're in Texas and you're making fun of Florida? Come on now.
Well, Florida Man Does Thing is an internet meme of itself.
Yeah, Florida deserves all trust me, there are some dumbass bitches running around over here. Yeah, we deserve all Yeah, we definitely deserve it.
Did you
No
originally come from
seriousness.
Texas, Jim? Because that is almost a Texas phrase. Dumb ass sums of bitches.
Sumbitch, Sumbitch, BS Sumbitch. Yeah. It's funny. I actually play Panzer Leader with Bruce Lee, Andrew, and we play on Skype or whatever. And the worse, he's playing the Germans, I'm playing the Russians, or whoever's playing whom. The worse we're doing, the more like colloquial we start getting. Like first we start off like almost speaking the same language, although of course there's English and English or whatever, English and American. But as if he starts losing the game, he's just bloody toss on it, whatever, facing off against a shitload of blokes or whatever. He just becomes more and more British the closer he gets to losing. And of course, with me, it's cracking my weird time we were playing. And I was trying to get line of sight on something. He had a tiger platoon sitting up on a hill somewhere, and I was like, I'm staying out of line of sight of that peckerhead some bitch up there. And he just starts laughing. I'm like, what I say? Because it's so natural. Yeah, peckerhead some bitch. Sumbitch.
You don't live.
Absolutely.
Do you live near the Oak and Iron guys or?
Yes, I'm
Blood
in
and
Fort
Plunder?
Lauderdale. He's in Fort,
Yeah.
or I'm in Fort Lauderdale. He's in, I think, the south part of Miami. So depending on how the war zone we like to call the Florida Turnpike is, depending on how many RPG incidents have been on that road that day, it's maybe an hour and a half. So
Do you ever visit? I would imagine visiting the creators is kind of cool.
yeah, it'd be cool. We got to get down there one of these days. I've met him a couple times. I've definitely met them. I've just never
What,
actually
you on
been to
about
their
Mark
studio.
Churros?
Yeah, those guys seem like really cool players. I mean, then they got that big boost from South Park because I think the South Park guys play that game.
Yeah, the South Park guys play. They play.
Oh, really?
Yeah, seriously, they play Blood and Plunder.
Blood and Plunder, like big time.
And I was
Yeah, I've met Mike. I've met Rufus. I've met his son.
Rufus.
Both online, of course. In person at Historicon 2019, we were hanging out. We were hanging out out on the street one time. Just started talking. Like the bar had closed, and we just go out on the sidewalk and we're just talking. And it's like 4 a.m. and we're still talking. We just don't want to go back to the hotel. And before you know it, we're like, we should leave before people start throwing money at us or something because we look like a bunch of homeless people just standing out here on. We went up gaming.
Some cop pulls up and arrests you for loitering.
That could also happen. This was near Philadelphia, so I wouldn't put it past them.
Actually, Mike's with not Mike. Yeah, well, actually, when was so at Salute, got a hang on, if I'm good enough, I might be able to do it. I'm not going to send a message because that's not fair.
The internet is going out, and chew.
Oh, I'm going to try and use technology here. Oh, I'm not meant to be able to use technology. Rufus. If I can, how can I? Right, go and talk amongst yourselves because I'm going to try and figure out how I can actually move something. Oh, I have to save it, don't I? So, my mate and I were playing Blood and Iron. Playing
Oak and Iron?
Oh, no.
Blood and Plunder?
Blood and Plunder. I've combined the two games. We're doing Blackbeard's Last Stand. Is it Oaky?
We've got Oak and Iron, Blood and Plunder, Blood and Valor. It's like, guys,
they like
need
blood.
some new
Blood and Valor for the World War I.
That's actually a really good system as well. But
what about the initiative system in that game, Blood and Valor?
You use the
World War I system. Is that not the coolest initiative system in the history of gaming? That is badass.
Here, you got a handful of points. You want to do. You got to.
It's almost like a blind bid system. Yeah, it's great.
And I think that's Rufus. That's all down to Rufus. That was. Oh, the whole game's down to Rufus. But he took.
2019. We're doing it. I'm sorry. You tell your story first. Go ahead.
Oh no, I was going to say. All I was going to say that was down to Rufus. And he just thought he just took Blood and Plunder, and he went, well, do you know what? These are the best elements. The initiative system in Blood and Plunder actually worked pretty well. But he then went, well, actually, what will work better? And then he came up with that initiative system, and I was just like, oh my god, that is so clever, and it works really well because it's more modern. and it'll suit a more modern environment, and it certainly suits the World War I environment. It wouldn't work so well for actual Pirates of the Caribbean sort of
The
thing.
only
But
thing I don't like about that initiative system is that you need that special component, that little wheel that they have or whatever. So
Yeah.
I can't steal it. Otherwise, I would totally steal that. Use it in some of my games.
Don't mind the game.
Yeah, I know. But we're sitting there playing. I'm doing a couple demo turns. The video is up on Beast of War. Granted, it's like 2 years old at this point, but
Yeah.
2019. And I'm sitting right there on camera. She's explaining to me how the initiative system works, and I do the initiative system. And I'm like, dude, this is awesome. This is like the best initiative system I've ever seen, or at least the most inventive. You can like blind bid on certain phases of your turn. So you have like 8 initiative points. Okay, you're gonna put X amount in your planning phase. I can't remember the exact phases of the turn. X amount in your movement, X amount in your fire. So you can emphasize certain aspects of your command structure. So this is what Panzer's talking about. You can't really, it wouldn't really work for like a musket game because there's not that much tactical coordination. Then again, World War I, they didn't like exactly have radios either. But and I'm sitting there like on camera live, like kind of flabbergasted by this awesome initiative system. And I'm like showering him with praise. I'm like, this is one of the best initiative systems I've ever seen. And then the camera turns off. And he turns to me. He's like, "Were you just bullshitting me just then?" I'm like, "No, dude." I'm like, "Oh, well, hey, thanks." I'm like, "I'm serious, man. I've been playing tactical war games since 1980 something. And that's the first time I've ever seen anything quite like that.
And it is unique. There is no. I mean, and I do like. We're going back to modern games now. Yeah, so I'm at Salute. I put it in Chill Out Bar, and I get this picture sent to me from Historicon with the message, "Glad to see you guys are back. When you're coming over to Historicon?" So we sent a message back going, "When you pay for us," and we're quite happy to go there.
Panzer, are you Salute? Are you actually one of the producers of Salute?
Oh no, I'm just put on a game there, man. I don't know. No, I'm not part of South London Warlords. Don't know. I'm nothing like that. I just literally put on a game, and that's it. I don't do anything more than that. What Lee and I do is we tend to travel around the country. Well, we used to before when we were allowed to. We used to go around the country demoing Blood and Plunder because the pair of us think the more people play Blood and Plunder, the more people I got to play that game with. So the bigger the scene in the UK, the better it is for us. The better it is for us, the more games I can get.
Well, Martin gave his whole system. I think Warren posted it on Facebook.
Yes.
And I was like, man, that's a kingly gift right there.
That's the Oak and Iron.
Oak and Iron, I believe, yeah.
Yeah. The Oak and Iron's actually the next scale up from it. It's actually I play tested that. I quite like it, but probably me. I'm not into I'm all right. Call me an idiot here. I'm not into
Idiot.
Yeah, thank you. I'm not into small scale little tiny shit. Like giving a proper actual sense of what a naval battle will be like. But I'm very happy to play a naval battle in 28mm with a handful of ships doing proper tacking, proper box holding, and all the other proper maneuvers which you tend to not worry about.
Oh, so then you really like my ship.
Not 28mm, man.
3 more.
Yeah, that's what
you're gonna have to have a game like the size of Ludin's game. It's gonna have to be absolutely huge. There were some 28mm ships at Historicon, and the whole table was basically the 2 ships, and they were already touching. Yeah. Basically, the 2 ships had already collided, and they're doing a boarding action. If we're talking about something like that, then sure. But if you actually want like naval tactics, I think this is why they came out with Oak and Iron. You need to go with something smaller.
Yeah, no, you're right. Totally right on that. But it's just me, and
Oh yeah. But I'm just the opposite. I would much rather play an actual battle game. I'm not a skirmish guy. Never have been, never will be.
Yeah, I think I've just got to the point where I haven't got enough room to put all my battle stuff up, so I gone to the
That's why we need smaller scales.
I like the spectacle.
Hex encounters.
I like the spectacle.
Everyone groans.
No, actually, you're right, Jim. That's the worst thing. Is you're right. Actually, hex encounter games. you know, you can stack them on the bookshelf, and you have.
But
hundreds
where's
of
the toys? I need the toys. Then when am I gonna paint the tile?
I don't
No,
want to paint anything. I'd rather play a game.
you see,
I've never played. I'm much of a
Yeah,
painter,
there's just
and I like.
different.
this is the good thing about our hobby, and actually, this is the one thing about hobby. You got
Yeah.
people that love painting, people who like painting and playing, people like playing and painting, and people who like playing. And I'm sure I've missed out about 5 dozen other things.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think the
yeah,
one thing
well.
that I really, really enjoy is not the painting so much, is for instance, the ship I made, because no one here had seen it before. When I took it to the hobby store, there was spectacle. Like, what the hell is that? And where
Nobody,
can I?
to be honest, nobody worldwide's seen that before. Not just you in your local place. That was crazy. I still can't work out you not got a golden button for that, by the way.
I'm telling you, I think this is the one for me, Panzer. I think this is the one. I think once I paint it chrome and put a little wash on it.
and
know what
don't
you
you,
need?
you need to add a badger
You
or
better
something.
start. You better. Okay, he beat me to it. You better start putting some badgers on there first.
A little
Badgers
dwarf,
or dragons or
a little
yeah, there you go,
dwarf raping a badger. Oh, it's like,
Oh no! Do a little. You've just got two of Ben's favourite things there. Together, maybe he would like that love being shared.
together.
Yeah,
Or
maybe.
put some mushrooms on it to get Warren's attention.
Oh God, yeah.
It does have a mushroom on it. It's
Paint
just
it
not the kind he likes.
Paint it purple, then you get Free's attention on it, and you've got to make it historical somehow, and then you'll get Jerry's attention, and then you've got to be a guaranteed shoe-in for a. You
Put a
understand?
little tank. Put a little tank on it. As it's
Yeah.
going.
Make
And there
it
you are.
remote
You've
controlled.
covered every base. You know what? If there's a secret formula out there to actually get golden buttons, let me know.
But
I
getting back to what Panzer just said about different people doing hobby different ways, we must not forget the only correct way to do hobby is the way you are doing hobby. Everybody else is wrong.
Well, that is true. Except when I went to the store, I found something out that I didn't know needed to be told to anyone, which is be nice, which which I assume nowadays is be respectful of each other. But one is make sure you bathe before you come to the store. I didn't know that was an issue at all.
Gamer funk.
I didn't know that was an issue. I thought you
This is true.
just take care of that before you come.
Yeah, welcome to
Sad
the
but
hobby.
true. It's
Oh.
funny because it's true. It's sad but true.
There had
There's-
been many comics in the gaming scene that had this as a theme. Please, you buy soap, use soap and water on body before entering any large.
The owner of the shop was highly upset, perturbed. He was throwing a tournament. What is that one? The Sigmar game? Age of Sigmar? Yes, they were throwing like a rated tournament of some kind, and we had a narrative event going on.
And somebody smelled like the Age of Smegma.
Not exactly.
Oh, please, I hope they didn't smell like that.
He was so upset because there's one bathroom in the place, and it's a bunch of men. It's a bunch of men.
Yeah.
And he just went, God damn it. When you go to the bathroom, aim for the toilet, pick up the seat.
Flush, wash your hands, wipe
It's not even the
butt.
flushing. They had peed on the seat, on the floor, and I immediately, because I was new and he didn't really know me, he knew the person, the event thrower of my club. I immediately turned to him and said, look, I picked up the seat and I aimed for the middle. I just leaned. He goes, no, it's not the narrative people. It's the tournament guys that always do the shit. So apparently it's well known that tournament guys just don't give two shits about anything.
It's a shitty hobby.
There was
at times.
a channel over here. I think it's in Miami as well. The Dice Tower. He had one of their shows was like
Tom
top
Vassell.
5 tips for if you're starting your own. if you're starting your own gaming club. And tip 1 was like, make sure you have plenty of tables. Tip 2, have this. Tip 3, and the big guy, I can't remember his name, the guy who's always threatening to flip a table. I will flip this table.
Was it
Yes,
Sam?
thank you. He's like, tip number 5, and we save the most important for last. Have clean bathrooms. If people are leaving your gaming club to go across the street to go to the bathroom in that filthy fucking McDonald's, you have a problem. You have an 18-year-old kid working for you. Make him go in there and clean it.
Yeah, the problem is though, but it's your customers, and obviously, I think most of these, because the way he talked to them, I think there's a lot of regulars, because this shop in my area just sells Warhammer. He said he branched out a little bit, but pretty much they called him crazy that he wouldn't make any money, and he says he's making a killing just with Warhammer.
Yeah.
Because
At
it
least, I don't
sells.
know, Luden, maybe you disagree with me about Luden, but I mean, has Warhammer ever been that big a deal over here in the States?
No, it has not. I've
Okay,
never.
cool.
I've honestly, and you might disagree with me. Tabletop gaming is not a big deal here.
No, it's not.
And but
Or at least it's not as big a deal.
how I got into this particular thing is through when I was like 12, 13, my cousin brought me into D&D. But even before that, I got into tabletop modeling through an uncle where we played a game called City, and we built train boards and we role played being in a city, and we had fake money, and you had to follow rules, and you had to take tests to get a job. I hated it, but all my cousins played it, so we played it together. And I'd buy little train cars. We get the ones from Europe, the Porsches, and they were like 2 scale, 1/72nd scale, I think, or whatever city scale train scale is. And we go to the train shop to get all our stuff. And from that, when I started playing D&D, and we tried to get my brother into it, he was like, we're building stuff. Let's build a castle. As soon as my friend, actually, I really honestly, I think I'll win a golden button when I post my castle that we built when I was about 16, 17 years old, because it's about 6 feet wide, 3 feet high. And it's basically like a large dollhouse. And if you wanted it, Panzer, I would ship it to you. But the shipping is a beast, I'm sure, because it's made out of.
I think that'll kill my bank account forever.
It's made out of plywood, and it's basically like a dollhouse. So it's 3 feet high. So there's 3 levels in it. Each tower. So there's 3 towers. Each tower is connected by a bridge. And then we built on the back. We built a sewage system, kind of like a play area.
Yeah.
And then we built a wall because we had bought the Warhammer Mighty Fortress. I don't know. I know y'all guys remember that. I'm positive you guys remember that.
Yeah, especially the price.
Yeah, well, we bought it on sale for like $30 because the shop in our town when I was younger just said it's not selling. Get rid of it. And the walls were too.
This is pre-internet days, then.
Oh no, yeah, man. This is before even I didn't even own a computer. And the walls were too short for my brother. He's like, no, we're gonna build our walls for our castle are a foot high, just because my brother wanted something that looked compared to a 28 millimeter man couldn't just jump over. Yeah. And what we played with wasn't even this. Is how Warhammer is not a thing here, Jim. Is that we started with Ral Partha.
Oh God.
Ral Partha. They had a system called Chaos Wars, and we bought into that.
I remember that vaguely. I definitely remember Ral Partha miniatures. Aren't they just Iron Wind miniatures now? Didn't they just change their name?
I think you still buy them in Europe. Miniatures. Yeah, you could still buy them in Europe as the Ral Partha name.
Yeah, Ral Partha Europe is a thing that exists, and they still make BattleTech minis.
I was going to say they make BattleTech. That's how I know them.
I think in America they're called Iron Wind. At least that's where I bought them from when I was still doing BattleTech. But either like they split off, or they're the same company just with a different name, or something like that. But yeah. I mean, for us, it was. I mean, if you were into far future sci-fi, it was usually BattleTech. It usually wasn't 40K. And then Renegade Legions. And then my dad went to Scotland. My dad went to Scotland on a vacation, and he walked into my son's into wargaming. My dad, God bless him, he doesn't understand what we do, but he's at least trying. He walks into a store, he doesn't know what it is. Turns out it's a GW store, and he gets the hard sell that you always get in a GW store or whatever. And he gets this box of 40K, a 6mm Epic. He's like, this is the game my son plays. I'm like, dude, that's so not the game that I... But I was really into Renegade Legions, a game that came out before 40K that was far future. Humanity's kind of the bad guy. It's loosely based on Rome. It's run by a mad emperor. All the alien races are against us. Stop me when it starts sounding familiar. 40K isn't completely fucking plagiarized, but it was so close that he thought it was the game that I played, Renegade Legions, and he picked up, and God knows how much money he spent. He said he spent a lot of money. He's like, I really hope you like this because it fucking cost me a lot. And I'm like, thanks, Dad, because that was 1997. 1992, I was a part owner of a game store and never heard of 40K. Never heard of it.
Yeah, but when your dad brings it home, you're like, yeah, this is awesome. Thanks, man.
Oh, totally. Oh, yeah, I was, you make a big show of it. I still have a couple of the pieces. I use some of the terrain. Those little plastic...
to take this, and you're going to like it.
Those little broken cathedral pieces you used to get. I still have some of those.
Got them.
So this is how popular 40K is here. Our gaming in general is here, Jim. Obviously, we live in the States. I've been around gaming and hobbying for over 30 years, 40 years. Never played really because there's nobody to play. Maybe it's just the people I hung around, and I, did a lot of cavorting, and I was a cool kid. So I didn't really have time for it.
You're cool.
What are you doing on this channel? Yeah, I was just going to say, what are you doing here?
You're in the wrong place, mate.
Yeah. So I'm 50 now. And it took me that long. And literally the ships I made, Panzer, put me in touch with a gamer here on Facebook. And he's like, hey, you make great ships. I was like, thanks, man. And he asked me, do you want to get together and show me the ship? And I was like, thanks, man. I never answered. He goes, hey, I was serious. Do you want to get together? I was like, where do you live? Because I live in Houston. I was like, really? He goes, yeah, I'm part of a gaming club. And it was literally like 2 miles down from my house.
Wow.
And I mean and I've been around, I didn't even know it existed and we ended up having a mutual friend that took me to that same club because he's into Warhammer. And I was trying to get back into it. I've been a member of Beast of War for some time now. And, but I like being around the hobby. I like interacting with people, and obviously my interaction is more adult, and I get that. But it's still fun. Most of it's mind think. Obviously, Jim is way more adept at telling you history of the thing, but I like to listen. I think it's cool. I like hearing you. I like watching your stuff, Panther. I like being on Sundancer's show just to hear it as background art, just because I like the hobby so much. Not that I do it very often, but I really enjoy it.
I've always maintained the best part of. Maybe like in a past life I was a woman or something, because like the best part of a game I've always thought, our gaming session, is what I jokingly call the afterglow. The game is fun. Let's all have a big battle. Let's all chuck a bunch of dice. But then afterwards, when everyone's just kind of sitting around drinking a beer, shooting the shit, and talking about gaming, is I've always felt was always the best part of the gaming session. I don't know. Oh, maybe I'm just weird that way.
This last time when you're talking about the ship battle I had, that was the first event I've ever been to and did anything like that. It was so much fun. I had to really watch my language because there was a young kid there. And I started talking about taking a ship from the rear, but not as nicely.
At least buy a dinner beforehand.
Yeah. I mean, you said that because that was me, salute, and I've got to learn things. I mean, we all do. And I turn around and without even thinking, really and truthfully, like, that's shite. Don't worry about that. And you speak to people without realizing. Luckily, shite isn't a word.
Oh, Panzer!
I can go much further.
Yeah, if it was all of us, I would actually ask you if your wife and kids were there is, hey, did you bring kids and a wife? Because I'll shut up. That's how
Oh,
bad
no.
I get.
Yeah. No, I don't have kids. Don't worry. They're not here.
None that you
It's
know
a
of.
tough habit. It's a tough habit you got to break when you get a YouTube channel, especially if you're gaming live and like
Oh,
you roll
yeah.
like a bunch of.
Oh yeah, y'all guys.
Mother.
No, you
God
only
bless
need
America.
to restrain yourself if you want to make a living from it.
Well, I don't think that's ever going to be us, but yeah, we are still growing, but I don't think we're ever going to get seriously monetized in any event. But that's cool. I mean, if you want to be, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, I was just gonna say, Jim, I do like your channel in the sense that, have you ever heard of oh Jesus, now there's a hardcore history on YouTube.
I've not heard of that particular channel, but okay, go ahead.
It's a history cheat, but you're basically doing the same thing but playing a game, and that's why I like your channel.
Oh, cool. Yeah,
But
there's a lot of people out there
other
doing it.
subject-
They're mostly doing like Little Wars. You know, Little Wars is kind of like not our model. We're never going to be as big as they are or whatever. But also we take it a little more seriously than they do, at least sometimes, as far as the material or whatever. But I mean, they're huge, man, and they play war games on mostly historical level. It's great. But yeah, you just have to learn to cool your jets a little bit. At least I do. Because I grew up in warehouses, construction sites, and the Marine Corps. So can I fucking curse once in a while? Yeah. So trust me, Ludin, that might be one more thing we have in common. Is when you get us going, man, it's gonna be like curse the paint off the walls if you're not careful.
I'm
cool.
not for restricting yourself if you're enjoying your hobby. If you don't make a living from it, you're under no obligation to be liked by anybody. So why restrict yourself? If you enjoy the game, go mental. I'm not saying be rude to people, but if something doesn't go right, like let's say for example your dice roll just goes downhill all the time, a proper cursing really helps relieve stress.
There you go, Panther.
right,
I just posted a picture of me and the
Oh.
wife at a concert.
You've all heard it here, folks. So when next Sunday's stream turns out the way it does, I apologize in advance, and I also blame Sundancer.
wow.
He told me I could curse as much as I want.
Blame me as much as you want. I have a pre-runner on every stream saying, this is for a mature audience, this is not for kids. If you don't like it, go fuck off.
That's a heck of a photo.
Yeah, that's
Sorry, I'm changing. So I'm not changing the subject. I was going to say that's really nice. Which one are you there?
I'm the Mexican dude next to the female. That's me and my wife.
Oh no.
You are aware that there are at least 3 females in the picture.
There's only one Mexican dude.
I was going to say there's only one guy in a check shirt. Oh no, it's not. There's 2 guys in a check shirt. I'm taking you're not.
I'm the one with the button.
Oh
yeah.
my god! I checked those Adidas out. I love those trainers. That's not yours. You got a pair of decent brogues looking on it.
I have no clue what you're talking about.
I'm talking about footwear. I'm sorry. I've got a thing about footwear. That doesn't sound right, actually.
This show is taking weird turns. First we got our Dorito butt plug knuckle duster thingy. Now you're talking about shoes.
Right. No, not foot fetish. Not foot fetish.
Yeah, you just keep telling that to yourself.
You all. I like shoes.
Yeah, that's
I'm a Mel DeMarcos, obviously, or something reincarnated.
I think I was in my 40s. It's got to be 40.
Were you on stage or something? Is that
No. We went to LA, and the concert is a 2-day event, and in those 2 days, if you bought the 2-day ticket, on the second day you get to go visit the band during a stage a sound check.
Oh wow!
And they take pictures with you. So the most famous guy that I know is Mark McGrath, and then Dave Navarro. There's a couple that was Billy Idol's guitarist. The one with there's a guy with sunglasses. His arm is around Billy Idol's guitarist. One of them.
Oh wow!
So it's a group. It's a super, what they call a super group, since they're in
Yeah.
LA. So me and my wife have been here a couple of times, and the first time we saw like Devo, Billy Idol, a lot of Slipknot, a lot of bands came out that were just in town. And then one year I got sick, and my wife went, and she got to see Ozzy Osbourne. And the last
Oh, that's
time,
not funny.
Talking about bad timing to get sick.
yes, and it was, and you don't understand. The Ritz, I think it's called the Ritz or something like that. Whatever concert hall we were in, it's a shitty little stage, so it only fits about 200 people, if that. But my wife was literally in. She probably did touch Ozzy Osbourne. That's how close you are. There's no gate. There's no nothing between you and the stage. And the next one we saw was we got to see ZZ Top, and that was the last.
Oh.
That's a concert I actually envy you of. That's
When I
a
say
band-
ZZ Top, it's not the whole band; it's the main guy. It's just because he comes out.
Well, ZZ Top is just 3 guys.
Yeah, it's just 3 guys. Well, 2 guys
I
now.
was gonna say it's not a really big band to begin with.
Yeah,
Made
they
a
just
big noise.
It's one of the longest, or has been one of the longest running band without change in the lineup, which is quite an achievement. I think over 45 years or something.
I think Status Quo can beat them. I think Status Quo would ever change their mind.
Ironically
think the-
named, perhaps.
I think the longest running, or at least touring band in the States was what's that hippie band that went everywhere? Grateful Dead.
Grateful
Oh
Dead.
God, the Grateful Dead. The band that is dead and they haven't realised yet.
Well,
Well, that's why
Jerry
they're so
Garcia
great.
died. Jerry Garcia died, and they're like, I guess we can't tour anymore.
Actually, I think the Stones are pretty good touring around and not having changing their lineup for a while.
Well, but the Stones actually made new albums. The Grateful Dead just kept touring and made nothing new. But now being married, I've been married 25 years now, and it's tough. 2 kids and wanting to game, and your wife, you're splitting time with the wife, and all that other stuff.
I think we all have that slight problem. I'm lucky, and I'm going to admit this. I am lucky. I found a wife, though she's not really into gaming.
Oh,
So-
neither is mine. Neither is
So-
mine, sir.
But that's right. I'm only saying this because she can obviously hear every word I'm saying.
So if we hear a sudden thump and you go silent,
Well, she's just brought me in a cup of tea, some walnut cake,
make
and
sure
some,
it's
and some fruit.
really
So,
just
I mean, I'm
tea,
happy.
nothing else.
But she there's a game called Love Letters, which is like old maid. I think Warren knows this game. And I think that's it. I saw it. They must have done it on a weekend or something. I thought, oh, that's quite a good game. So I bought it, and my missus and I played it occasionally. Pandemic. We play Pandemic. The worst thing I have ever seen, because my wife actually, I can't drive. There seems to be a generation of mine of lads. I can't drive, and I can't believe this, but she drives me around everywhere. She takes me to all these shows and stuff.
How do you get to work?
Work. I work at the desk I'm at the moment. I don't leave my house.
Working
there's
from
a thing-
home.
There's a thing called the pandemic. No,
You-
no,
The
I work
event,
from home.
remain indoors.
Yeah,
Here's the question: are all of us IT people?
I'm not.
I'm assuming so. Oh, okay.
Oh,
I know
no,
Tim is.
I'm a civil servant.
no.
So my oh God, I'll bore you all. Right, and this has been yes, fantastic. Right, I'm a civil servant. I work for the Majesty's government. I actually work for the Department of Work and Pension. I work drink. I work specifically for the Child Maintenance Service, which is actually a service that's set up. Used to be called the Child Support Agency years ago. It's set up to be to act as a go-between between 2 warring parents to actually get one parent to pay for that's absent to pay for their children. When it works, it's a wonderful job. When it doesn't work, it's an awful job. But I actually enjoy it. My job is actually I've got a team of 10 people, or 10 people plus actually, and I lead them to actually to help people to actually get that understanding so they can pay each other. And it sounds really simple.
But that's always just theory.
I spend too much of my time.
Well, not to get too much into my family history here, but when it comes to kids caught in the middle of a divorce and who's going to pay, it's never fucking simple. I can promise you that.
Oh no, I agree. Jim, sorry, that's me. And the reason why I probably like this job, and it's because I've got a buy-in. Because my dad never paid for me and my brothers to my mum, and my mum struggled. So I sort of I can understand it from the what we call a receiving parent, the person that actually has the children. Oh, isn't that such a lovely title to call them? A receiving parent and a paying parent, or even better, parent with care, or the absent parent. Both of them are quite controversial when you turn around and say to someone that.
I'm neither one of those. I've been with my wife 25 years, both, and only have 2 kids from the same woman. It's awesome. It makes my life so much easier.
But that's my job. Before that, actually, I worked for the Department of Transport. I worked for a part called the DVLA. It's still part of the government. And I worked in the enforcement there where people who forget to, I am a pencil pusher. People who forget to license their vehicle, I would then go and hound them and go, you haven't licensed a vehicle, you now owe the government 80 quid. And then they will be quite good to threaten me with major manner of things. I've even had a bloke come into my office with a shotgun threatening to kill me. Because I said that you need to pay a fine of 80 quid. You're going to kill me for 80 quid, you sad git. But you know what? People are idiots. Yeah,
Which is the equivalent of people, basically.
No, if anyone, I'm not saying that my job is a crap job, or I'm not saying my job's a dangerous job, because it's not. There are much more dangerous jobs than proper jobs out there. All I am is a government official that's actually just trying to, ironically, enforce the will of the people on the will of the people. There we are.
Force the will of the people on the people.
Yeah.
By the people, for the people.
You vote for these shits. I merely actually do it. So when they pass a law that they don't like, don't blame me, blame them. Oh, blame me. It's easier.
Or
who do we blame?
For voting.
We decided who to blame for Brexit. Brexit? I can't pronounce it today.
Brexit.
Brexit. Yes.
Do you really want me to go into who I blame for that? You really don't.
Blame the Americans. Always blame the Americans.
Nope. You guys got fuck all to do with
Don't mention the war.
We totally fucked this one up ourselves. I'm a total Ramona. I think
Remainer?
Ramona, yeah. I think it's the worst thing in the world. That's my personal opinion. Do you know what? I deal with the fact that actually, do you know what? I think we made the worst mistake in the world. We left Europe. Why would you want to leave the biggest economic group in the world to sit there on the side of it and go, oh, can we join it now?
Can we have some table scraps, please?
and it feels like that. That's my opinion, yeah? And I'll tell you what, the reason why I feel that, and this is partly quite selfish. One, I'm a total Europhile anyway. But the other part is my hobby has got more expensive because I can't get half the stuff from Europe that I used to get. So, I can't see where that comes. Yeah, here's the message. If you've got a big giant red bus to say, do you want to get £350 million a year, a day back, leave Europe. That was bullshit. And people fell for it.
That's a news item I saw back in the day, and I thought nobody can be so bloody stupid to believe that.
Oh, they should make a game on that.
Oh, that would be good. I bet they have. It's called Pandemic, isn't it? What other games have my missus played with us?
Have you? I own it. I have never opened it. In fact, it's still shrink wrapped. I don't have it. I don't have Escape the Dark Castle. I bought the sci-fi version. Has anyone played that? I own it. I just never played it.
No.
Dang it! Now I'm gonna have to play it. And I was hoping for your guys' opinion. I heard it's good.
I've heard it's good, but
Wasn't
I
there
can't.
wasn't there a playthrough on Piece of War?
Yes,
Really?
but sometimes I think they're shilling.
Of course they are. They're getting paid to promote stuff.
I get it. I get it. That's why I like listening to your show because then the truth comes out.
Well,
Yeah.
but I don't know shit.
I'm not depending on your voice. There's another voice in that channel as well.
Yeah, that's.
I wouldn't listen to him.
Oh, he's brilliant. He is brilliant. His humor and mine are right eye to eye. Not literally eye to eye because he's about 2 feet taller than me.
It's about 2 feet taller than most people, believe me. Oh God!
And he always makes sure that you are very well aware of that.
Do you know what? I'm going to actually I've been being horrible to him. Actually, do you know what? He's a decent fella. He really is. He comes across sometimes as being like really brash and that. But
Oh no, never. I really enjoy him.
oh no, but he's actually, he's a real decent fella. And if he is about listening to this, I'm obviously proposing marriage to him now.
Our dear leader is great.
My ex-leader.
House of Water rules.
I've still got the banners. But I'm sorry. I'm now in the House of Rejuvenation. Every day I get basked in the glorious light of Warren, who never. Ever.
When his internet works.
You know what I was thinking of?
Oh,
there's only one who interacts with the channel, the Discord, and it's Jerry.
He does.
I mean, Warren I've seen a few times, but Warren and Jerry are the most. I think I've seen the others.
Free is also active, but only in different sections.
Spot. I've never seen John, and I've never seen.
John is active in the RC section.
RC group.
Okay, that's why. I'm not.
The only one who really never touches Discord is Justin. Even Lloyd has been active at times.
Even Ben appears on it occasionally.
Yeah.
Just type Badger. He'll appear 2 minutes.
He'll appear. Badger, say it 3 times, type it 3 times, and he pops up.
Could be very possibly happen, but I wouldn't hold my breath.
I don't know. It's like Beetlejuice.
I'm waiting for his channel to go live again because on Twitch, just so I can pester him.
Oh, speaking of pester, I think I missed my chance of today's pestering of Atomic Mass Games about Star Wars Epic Legion.
Missed it! Epic Legion! Epic Legion! We should all do a massive shout to Epic Legion. You know what? Maybe that's it. That's that. Panther Kaputt's thinking of a new channel name. Hey, it should be just called Epic Legion.
You tell me when to go, and I'll start pestering them even worse than you do.
I
will say things.
Just right in the picture.
I think currently Atomic Mass Games has their hands full with different shit. I think they're up to their ankles in work for next year, the 40th anniversary, the year after, and also making themselves a new homepage while they're at it.
I don't know if y'all guys are into it. Are y'all watching the new He-Man show on Netflix?
You're talking about the animated series.
Yes, the Revelations. I actually liked it.
I've watched the first season and I found it absolutely boring. To be honest.
It's better than the original.
The original wasn't brilliant either, but at least it has a consistent story.
There's no consistent story in the original. They're little one-offs.
Yes, that's the consistency. That's the great thing. You watch one episode and you don't need to be scared to miss the next one.
And you see, I'm from a generation that missed all that.
Oh, but
Seriously.
Speaking about current iterations of classics, Jerry asked for opinion on the Wheel of Time for people who did not read the books.
I've never read the books.
I never read the books. I just watched the first 2.5 episodes.
Can I just say, let's not go spoilers, just in case somebody here hasn't seen it.
No, I'm not going to go spoilers. Judging simply by the fact that is a not small franchise, at least not for the most of the English-speaking community, I find the production quality rather lackluster, half-assed, and the special effects partially piss poor. Sorry.
You're talking about the monsters, right?
Yeah, and the blood
monsters
effects.
are okay.
That those were especially horrible. All in all, I can't really tell what it is, but there's something missing that makes me want to watch more of it. It's just the acting is stiff. The costumes
that's what I was going to say. It's probably the most flagrant thing that I've seen is the acting. There's something wrong with the actors. I don't know if it's the direction or the actors.
And it's still the. I mean, I'm almost through the 3rd episode, and I'm still trying to figure out what the bloody background story is. And the fact that I'm very bad with names is not helping at all, because they all have so weirdly made up names that I really can't remember any of them.
I was going to say, Sundance, don't worry about that, because I've watched all 3 now, and I'm the same with you. I don't know what's going on. I'm just sitting like I'm on a roller coaster and enjoying it.
Yeah, but that's the worst part. I'm not really enjoying it. It's train wreck happening.
I think the 3rd episode you're starting to get the story, and I think the other 2 are actually just developing. It's like The Witcher, though. Do you remember in the first season of The Witcher?
I was just gonna say, my girlfriend's all fired up about the 2nd season of Witcher coming out.
So am I.
She's like, "Are you gonna try it again?" Because I watched the first 2 episodes of The Witcher, and I was like, "What the heck?" Because it has like this whole non-linear story going on.
Same thing with me. I watched the first 2 episodes, and I was I'm not going to be bothered.
No.
If I need to start cross-reading reference material and making research to make sense of a television series, then you fucked up.
You don't need to do that, but you do need to actually get literally to the last couple of episodes where everything. It's the last episode that pulls it all together.
Yeah, but I won't be watching multiple episodes of a series I'm not getting.
Hey, here's the problem now.
My time is too valuable to just sit there and watch shit.
But can I just say, The Witcher, I watched it. I've never played the games. Got sort of now slight interest in playing the games, but I haven't. So I had no idea what was going on.
Sure, you've never played the games? Because it sure as hell.
Well,
I mean, this guy's so upset about, they made a game based on my novels. They made a movie about my novels, bro. Your whole shit is ripped off from Michael Moorcock and Stormbringer.
Yes, most definitely. Other than the fact he hasn't got.
No, I played some Stormbringer back in the day, but I never played any Witcher. Yeah, or whatever they call it. Whatever the ripoff is.
There's a Stormbringer game.
Yeah, I've got it right here. Now it's an old RPG. It's an old
I remember RPG. That. I bought that game. I thought you meant like a video game. I was like, oh my god, where is
that
it?
would be. We're all playing.
Sorry. I'll take a picture of the book right here. I got it in my hands. Michael Moorcock's Stormbringer fantasy role playing.
I had that.
Yeah, it's like the green cover with Elric on the top holding.
Holding Stormbringer. Yeah, I read those novels when I was a kid.
We had a guy back in the Marine Corps who used back in those days. I'm going to age myself here, but
still younger than me, mate.
You already told us your year of birth.
I think you're younger than me, Jim.
So I think we're the same age. I turned 50 like 4 weeks ago.
I am older than you, sir. I am older than you. I turned 50 in June.
Younger.
Thank you, Martin, for leaving the check. Because now I think I can say I'm the youngest guy in the room.
Nope, you're not.
Oh,
no, I was going to say there's one that's way younger than that.
He used D&D 2nd edition. Remember the old FACO days?
Yeah.
He used 2nd edition, and he used that to run us through all the Stormbringer stories based out of that RPG. We didn't use the system, but we used the setting, and it was great. Yeah, and then Witcher comes out, and I'm like, oh look, this is totally ripped off of Stormbringer, which is fine. Everything's ripped off of something else to a certain extent.
Do you still
Then with-
roleplay, Jim?
I used to very, very heavily. We did virtual role playing actually on stream. We did it live on stream. We did HK Ops. It's a system we created for ourselves, heavily based on, you guys would totally recognize it, the old White Wolf. We were talking about it earlier, Vampire the Masquerade, stuff like that. So picture that, but not supernatural, and you basically play a Green Beret, SAS, top level tier 1 operator, or a PMC of equal skill. And you run around and shoot terrorists and stuff like that.
See, around that time, I know nothing about that era of gaming because I was out of it entirely. So White Wolf, Vampire the Masquerade, I was totally done with it. I was doing other things, probably going out to clubs and drinking.
Yeah, you were a cool
It's probably the best. It's probably the best. Just based on the system. I'm not talking about the setting because everyone's kind of their own ideas about the setting. But as far as the system goes, it's probably one of the best systems ever designed. Especially if you're into narrative role playing. Yeah.
Yeah,
If you can, if go ahead.
Sorry.
No, go ahead.
No, I was going to say it's because it's free. It's a free form system, free flow system, not free. And
Yep.
and it's yeah, even I played that version of Stormbringer. It's a free form system, and that just allows you to do what you want, and the mechanics don't break the story. So the game's sort around the story, not around the mechanics. That's what I was trying to get to say.
You have a grand total of 3 categories of attributes, 3 attributes within each category, and then a list of skills. That's like half a page of paper. And it's a rating system from 1 to 5. And if you can add 2 numbers from 1 to 5 and 1 to 5 together and get a number between 2 and 10, you've got the game beat. And we used it for everything. We played Vampire the Masquerade, Werewolf the Apocalypse, Mage the Ascension, Wraith the Oblivion. I even tried Changeling once. That was a wasted fucking afternoon. Demon the Fallen. Promethean, we tried them all. And of course we like some more than others. Then we used it for everything from Redwall to Renegade Legions to like World War III, like Twilight 2000 type stuff to, and again, HK Ops, if you ever look at one of our old streams. It's a very, very different version of it, but it's basically the same thing. You take an attribute, you add a skill to it, you get a number, you roll that many d10s, and however many 6s you get, that's how many successes you have. It's super easy.
It is, and that's what I think is really good about it. I remember they did a superhero version of it called Aberynth, and actually it worked because because the mechanics of the game allows you to be a proper comic book character. It allows you to actually have a story and do the story. It's not sitting there going, but I can break through a wall, blah blah blah, because it's got this superpower or that superpower. It's not like that. It actually allows you to. It just simply allows you to play the game, and I think to me that's the important part of any game. Is actually, can you play it? Are you able to play it? Do you want to play it? Is another one. What version of Stormbringer is that? Sorry, I'm on the
we're looking in the
chill out. Yeah, I just saw
That's the book I had.
The Games Workshop one. Oh no, that's the Kyoshi one, isn't it? That must be really old.
The one from Tough Years is the one I have in my hand literally right now. I have that book in my hand as we speak.
Now that's
one hand on the mouse and one hand on the book.
Oh, it's the same one. It's just a different cover. It's just that one's the Games Workshop one. When Games Workshop sold roleplay games over here under license. I don't know why. I always thought that.
Warhammer Grimace. I've never seen that copy. That looks like a hardcover. I have a soft cover.
Yeah, but
I think one is the soft cover and one is the hardcover. I think Warhammer Grimace is the hardcover. You see that little line on the left-hand side? Looks like the spine of a hardcover book.
Nice artwork as well. But
always wanted those Warhammer, the Citadel figures, the Eternal Champions. Never got one.
Ah, that would make sense. I remember there's
Ask Jerry. He probably has doubles somewhere.
Oh, Jerry has doubles of everything.
trebles, not just doubles. Trebles. Lords of Midnight. What's that?
Tuffy Years has a copy of Wraith: The Great War. That was a serious book. And then if you really wanted to get serious, I don't know if you guys remember this. White Wolf had another company. They had a spin-off company called Black Dog.
Yeah.
And it was their literal, like, the game is sold in plastic. It's in the back of the store or behind the counter. You have to show ID. You have to be at least 18 to buy this book or whatever. And it was just like no holds barred. It was absolutely insane. The stuff. They had Wraith, the Holocaust. You play a ghost in Auschwitz. So nice and cheerful for beer and pretzel night. But that book was in plastic, Black Dog, and there was a bunch of others. Some of the Worm stuff for Werewolf the Apocalypse, the Nefandus, one of the Nefandus source books for Mage the Ascension. That stuff was sold in plastic because White Wolf got to the point where they were like, we're going to make games for adults, and this is now in a different company, and it's sold very differently. I don't know how long it lasted, but yeah, some of those Wraith source books. Talk about a dark game. I mean, usually in role-playing games, you try not to get killed. In Wraith, the very first thing that happens to you is you get killed because you're literally role-playing a ghost. So don't worry about not getting killed. That's part of your character creation process. How you died already. It's worse than Dark Souls. Yeah, those were some games. Hunt of the Reckoning, I definitely used to play that. Changeling, we tried once. I didn't like Changeling. Werewolf the Wild West, I loved Werewolf. It was my favorite, except for maybe Mage the Ascension. But we never really tried the Wild West version. We did Werewolf in the American Revolution once. That was kind of fun. We had to change some of the tribes. It did. We just had to change some of the tribes. Like, there were no Glasswalkers in those days. Stuff like that.
But actually, I could see how that would really work. That would... Yeah. No, I'll tell you what would work better for that would be French Indian War.
Yep.
Because you could do werewolves going on werewolves on that quite well.
Oh, that's totally what we were. Trust me.
Yeah.
Even the American Revolution.
Of course, yes.
I mean, check out Tuffy Year's little collection here. Nice.
It is a nice collection.
Yeah, but I mean, that whole White Wolf system, like, okay, I have, again, the whole game runs on a rating from 1 to 5. Okay, I have 3 dots in firearms or whatever. Okay, so usually I want to shoot somebody with a gun. You roll dexterity plus firearms. Okay, well, maybe I'm trying to dodge fire coming at me. Okay, that's going to be agility plus firearms. I'm talking about different editions of the game here. You want to go purchase a firearm. Is the gun any good? Okay, perception plus firearms. I'm going to try and haggle the guy down in price. Manipulation plus firearms. It's literally just mix and match, and you can, do it however you want that best facilitates the story, and as long as everyone's in agreement, obviously you and the storyteller, but also the rest of the players, so nobody feels like they're being overshadowed or anything. Yeah, it's a great system, and we as a long-winded way of answering the question. Yeah, we still do role-playing, but it's definitely not like fantasy or supernatural. It's you're a Navy SEAL. You just jumped out of the Black Hawk. There's the Taliban. Don't fail your dodge check, because if you get shot in the head by a bullet, you are dead.
That's the way it should be, really.
Or if you get hit in the base of the spine, you may be paralyzed. I mean, it's supposed to be realistic. 5 minutes into the future kind of role playing kind of thing. That's about it for my role playing these days.
Just because we had this moment of awkward silence, I'll just get in here and say, yeah, it's been 2 hours.
It is. I've just posted up what I've done while you've been talking. There's my banner at long bloody last.
Huzzah! At least you've been productive and not been painting any miniatures, you son bastard.
Oh, I didn't mention Silver Bayonet. I'm really sorry. Silver Bayonet.
Oh.
Is that Supernatural Napoleonics?
It is. It's Frostgrave
Okay.
in the Napoleonics, I suppose, is the really way of saying it. I've got it yesterday. I love the cover. I think the actual cover. I'm looking around for it. No, I didn't bring it in the room with me.
I thought we were going on a banter about Games Workshop mishappening in their sewage system.
Oh, we could talk about that. No, even
Going to the
Paul
store,
Hickman.
guys. I'll be back later if you guys are still on.
We'll be finishing soon. Then.
Yeah, it's getting late. To be fair.
But I've only quickly. Well, I'll tell you what I've done with Silver Bayonet. I've opened it. I've looked through all the pretty pictures. I've read a couple of words, and I went, "Oh, look! What's the nations?" All I was interested in is, can I make a? Well, I was going to say, can I actually do do Portuguese cacador? No, I can't. They don't have don't have Portuguese, but they do have Spanish. So yes, we can. They have
Portuguese
rifle
what? Or just Portuguese in general?
cacadors, Portuguese riflemen.
Okay.
They were. I got. It's only because I play Flintlock and then the Portuguese are goblins, and I have whole regiments of Portuguese goblins. Don't ask why I've got them. But I looked at it and I thought, oh, that's all right. I'll say that. Do they have the Irish in there? Can I make the Irish? Can I make the Skillings and that? And he could. And then I was like, oh, actually, to be honest, I just want to do the French. And
Talking about hobby butterflies.
I know they are going to do other nations. I'm glad, because you can't do Americans, so you can't do like the War of 1812 or anything at the moment. You can't do actually any of the Caribbeans or anything like that, because the Napoleonic War wasn't just fought on mainland Europe. You couldn't do Egyptian.
To be fair, I don't think anything in America would be worth playing in the 1812 war.
Oh,
to be perfectly fair.
To be perfectly honest, I don't think it's a war.
We didn't do very well on that one.
Yeah, you still won.
I think we won that war the same way we won the Revolution. Basically, the British got tired of us and decided they had bigger problems.
Yeah, I think France was doing its utmost in the second time, but yeah, I would like to see Silver Bayonet go out towards the Asia as well, because I like some of those creatures. But there's nothing stopping us from doing that. That's the dark part. But it looks interesting. My big thing now is to try and get people interested in it, because it's historical enough to be historical, and actually, if you take all the supernatural out, you've got a pretty good historical war game, skirmish game going on there. So you could probably actually play the Battle of Waterloo using the number of people used in Sharp. But I think it'd be a nice be able to get people to buy into it. What I would like, yeah, bloody French again. What I would like to do is actually move it more forward to, and I think it was Warhammer Grimace was talking about it as well, was move it more towards the colonials, towards the Victorian time, and do more, what's his name, like Jack the Ripper and all that sort of stuff, and having those supernatural. That would be, to be honest, to me, I think it would be great. But I am liking it. The fact that it's actually making me want to do other parts instead of the actual background. It's got nothing to do with the background. I think it's a great background. I think the Napoleonic time's great. But to me, if you want to do a sort of Gothic game, you need to go Gothic. And sorry, Lady Chatley's Lover isn't the type. Not Lady Chatley's Lover. Mr. Darcy and all that isn't really quite the time for doing that. But I could do, I suppose, Pride and Prejudice and Zombies.
You can literally do the original Bram Stoker's Dracula. Bram Stoker? I always call him Stroker.
Don't worry, I
might
do.
say more about me than anyone else.
Sorry.
I'm guessing that goes back to your vampire days.
Brown Stroker.
Yeah.
But actually, yeah, there's a part of me that really, because there's a really nice range of figures by Westwind. Westwind Productions here in the UK, not Westwind, the roleplay company. They do a really nice range of I think it's like mid-Victoriana what I would have called, the traditional old vampire movies where you got like the little villages in Romania who are scared about the vampires, but they're all out there with their pitchforks and that. And I think, that could be, to me, that could really go in. Hammer House of Horror sort of thing, but more grounded than that. But yeah, that's the part to me would actually work out really well, and it wouldn't be any difference because it's still blunderbusses and muskets. But we'll see. So probably next week I'll be actually going, hey guys, I've got this
Next
new game.
week, technically, Warren should be back.
Yes, I'll be interested in
Oh,
that.
really?
Yeah.
If the cable company finally actually managed to get the fiber to home and connect it.
Jim, put your
How
show
is
on.
that even possible? I mean,
Um,
I'm sorry, what now?
I
Oh,
said-
yeah. I'll have something ready. But how is that even possible, man? First of all, when did it become my show? I just ran it on a couple of off weeks, and I was lucky enough to get a co-host. I mean, I can't run one of these myself. Nobody's that interested in what I have to say.
The same reason actually is how this is Tim's and my show. Is we've done it a couple of weeks, and then suddenly it becomes a part of the thing, of the fabric of the of
Warren
the actual
threw us the
Discord.
keys,
I
and
mean-
we were like little children grabbing keys and not thinking of the consequences. And here we
Yeah.
are.
Now I thought of
He
the
said
consequences.
his was the unofficial radio show, then yours became like the unofficial radio show.
Yeah, so you ought to be the
So
other
me and Martin were looking at it. Me and James Cutts were looking at. I guess we're the unofficial radio show, whatever.
But actually,
But man, how was that even possible? I mean, if somebody had no internet here in the States, unless you live in friggin' Bithlo, Mississippi or something, but if you,
As
if
far
you
as
have
I
no
understand, his house is on the off side of any other living areas, so it's not really a place where any landline connections are great. He's been
It is-
using mobile internet since he has moved in there.
it's
like a
and this
mobile
is something-
hotspot kind of thing.
yeah,
and,
it's
and
something.
the fiber that's being brought to his home is, as far as I have understood him, is specially dug up in the ground for him. So it's an investment.
It's I mean, this
So
happens all
somebody
over.
had no internet and like couldn't like have a job. You couldn't converse. Especially nowadays with the pandemic and everything. So many people are working from home.
It's-
I guess if you live that far out in the sticks somewhere, but otherwise, I mean, you're out of internet for like a day. Like you're literally unemployed. You're losing money. There's going to be a riot, and you're not going to be alone. You're going to have a lot of people out there with you.
Unless you're
we-
living in a very sparsely populated area, then you're very much alone.
Can I just say that the internet in the UK isn't as good as everybody else's, and we have a national program of trying to actually ensure that, and please don't laugh when I say this, to ensure that everyone gets at least a bare minimum of 10 meg. And
Oh, I'm
that's
not
still-
laughing because that would still be
I won't
ahead
laugh.
of anything that Germany is currently holding.
But not everywhere in the country is connected. I mean, I've got 5G. I don't need internet. I have 2 5G receptors outside my house. I haven't been taken over by the Russians, by the Chinese, so it can't be true.
Not
Um,
yet.
Not
I'm
yet.
assuming you have an unlimited data plan, or have you not gotten your first cell phone bill yet?
No, yeah. I luckily have an unlimited data plan.
$4,000. What the hell?
What's this? Hey, since when has my name been Chai Chan? But actually, no. The UK does not have a good network. We still got areas where we still actually, to be quite frank, our mobile network doesn't cover everywhere in the country. Our broadband network is shocking. We've got dozens and dozens of petty companies that try and set the things up. BT's the major one, but then we got a couple of others like Virgin and Sky.
I think the British side of the internet suffers from the same problem the German side of the internet suffers from. Some wacko in the government at some point decided, let's privatize our telephone lines. That surely is a grand idea.
Yeah, her name is Mrs. Thatcher. I'm going to get off politics there. But actually,
Well,
yeah,
we can just agree on selling off state-owned property that has been essential to everybody is a fucking bad idea.
it is, and actually, it has been ever since. But it's some, the fact is that you can live, and I don't mean you live in like the top of Scotland or something, where the nearest settlement to yourself is Australia. Even in, I live in the middle of the country. I live in Leicester. Leicestershire is a pretty rural county. Besides the city of Leicester, which isn't a big city, by the way, it's only like 350,000. Besides that, there are no really other major towns actually in Leicester, and we can literally go 10 miles outside the Leicester, and you go to a village, and that village will not have internet. I think in this day and age that's a crime, but that's the truth of the matter. If you go into Rutlandshire, which is technically not a county, but if you go into Rutlandshire, there's a lot of rural areas there where people, they'll, again, like 5 miles, 10 miles from a major town, and then that's it. They've got nothing. And that's just all over the country. So
They have no
Warwick
internet, or they have no cell service.
have no internet. We've got cell service. I mean, if I can, well, I know I can't draw. I can bring up a map and actually show you what the cell service is.
There is cell service, but it's so basic that you usually don't have any real data capacity left.
Yeah, I've got 5G here. I can literally go up my road, and I'll go from 5G to 4G to 3G in literally half a mile. But that's that's
There's some places like that places like that out west. Like I was out to see my family in Montana, and man, you talk about north of the wall, man. You're out there, not just like the most remote corners of Montana. But even there, the towns have internet. But when you're going between towns, yeah, forget about your cell phone service. Yeah, totally.
And that's it. I mean, though the cell phone service is okay, it's not brilliant. I go to my mum's, and she's just outside of a place called Clacton-on-Sea, by the sea, believe it or not. And I will not have internet. So in a couple of weeks' time, when I go to my mother's, I won't have internet because there is no internet until I get into a house where she's got broadband, and then I can reconnect onto this network. It's daft when you think about it. But this is, we're in the 21st century, but there are places that literally have nothing. And now, by the way, where my mum lives is 10 miles away from Colchester, which is the largest military barracks in the country. It has a population and it's a town, and has a population of 350,000 as well. So, and it's got a massive student population now, and it's got all one cons. It's got all G5 and everything. Literally, that's what I mean. That's how weird the services around here.
Just very spotty.
Yeah.
Very uneven.
Sure, so since we're doing a recording and I want to go to bed,
oh God, yes.
because it's almost half midnight.
I'm going to.
Everybody has now the chance to say goodbye to the audience, and I'll stop the recording, and you can blabber on all you want. But I'm going to bed.
As I bitch and moan about the internet.
I didn't know this was being recorded. You're gonna hear from my lawyers.
Oh, everything has been recorded.
Jim, I'm really sorry. We changed it at the beginning. You know what? We totally forgot.
Start over.
Oh no, don't worry about it, mate. Yeah, it's only. By the way, it's only going on our YouTube channel, so actually, the 10 people actually bother to listen to us. That's it. But thank you very much for everyone who's actually stayed with us. Tuffy, who was the first person that joined, even before we joined. Warhammer Grimace. Guy, you should have put your hand up and come up. Get out of the chat. Zorg, I can't pronounce Tugak. Oh God, someone tell me how to pronounce it. Is it Tugak? And Homogeny Gary.
And not forgetting people that have already left. Yes. Martin Luden. And Luden.
Yeah, can't forget.
Martin was here for a while. Martin was also a speaker.
Yes.
So with that said,
We started talking about Hex Encounters, and Martin bailed on us. I think we bored him to death.
I think
I
either he's
wanted
been
to know
streaming
more
or
about
something else. So
Yeah,
I
I
will
want
be
to know
stopping
about
the
it.
recording now because Panzer's surely recording his part a little bit longer. So I'll say
Oh.
good night to everybody, and the recording stops in 3, 2.